even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff, even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
It's Meals on Wheels. 1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What are you talking about?
No, it's not him. There is only one more. There is only one more. That's it. One more.
Get rest!
No!
They saw your team put up zero effort.
Wake up!
Remember in the old days, they used to have oxygen for them. Where's the oxygen?
Play like absolute just garbage.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
Yay!
Man, can you keep it down? I'm trying to introduce here. With Errol Marks and Speedy Beatty.
You're not even a has-been. You're a never was. You're a never was.
November 30th, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to a new show of the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Speedy Petey. Ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do to check out our network and our shows, you go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including The Loudmouth, which airs every single, yes, you've heard it, Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to check it out is you go to www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And by the way, if you want to call the show, as we all know Jeff and we know Snug and all the people out there that like to piss me off, all you have to do is call us at 631-672-3108. Speedy, what's up?
See, Jeff, you can actually call the show now rather than trying to call us at 10:15 where we're trying to end the show. Jeff.
Hold on one second. I don't want to hear from Jeff. There's nothing to talk to him about. Why would I want to hear from Jeff right now?
I don't know. Maybe you have some. Maybe he has some rumors about which pitcher. The
no
Red Sox
rumors.
are gonna trade for.
And by the way, the rumor man is Josh.
That is
okay,
true.
so why are we going to ask Jeff for rumors? That wouldn't help us.
Because Jeff's rumors might be actually more plausible than Josh's.
I don't know about that. And we have a very special guest in the studios tonight. My partner in crime for all those years. You guys know him as Mikey, aka Ariel Killer. I know him as Mikey C. Mike, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Well,
the low-tone Mikey C, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't have much to say until I attack him in every kind of way when it comes to the Celtics or the Mets or the Islanders, whatever we want to get into when it comes to his teams, he will have his own thoughts to it. But we have a very good show lined up for you guys. At 9 o'clock, we will be talking to an old friend, as everybody knows him as the writer for the Green Bay Packers. He's no longer the writer for the Green Bay Packers. He's now working for the Summerville Journal Scene and news editor, Ralph Mancini. He will be joining us. We haven't spoken to Ralph. It has to be about 3 years. It's been a long time.
It was like a year and a half. Like it was the original Aaron Rodgers rumors.
It's been a long time. I've had him on the show quite a few times. I do not remember a year and a half ago, but hey, I've interviewed so many people. I think it's close to 400 or 500 people in the last 3 years. So anything is possible. At 9:30, we'll be talking to the founder of the pitchers list, Nick Pollack. I'm sorry. He will be joining us. So we're very happy to have Nick. And Nick is actually a very well-known writer. His book is very well-known. It's selling all over Amazon throughout the country. He's got over 52,000 followers on Twitter. So it's fantastic. And I'm looking forward to getting this interview out because there's a lot of things going on in baseball, especially pitchers. And pitching has been a prime important position for baseball now, and everybody's looking for that star pitcher, that number 1 or number 2 starter, or even the relief pitching, and that I definitely want to get into with him. So we will have him on at 9:30. Reports say that Juan Soto is likely to enter free agency in 2025, no matter where he is traded to. So as everybody knows, the New York Yankees are very intrigued and very interested in Juan Soto. Left-handed power is something that the Yankees have been really, I don't know what you call it, pleading for. And now they're interested in Juan Soto. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but as everybody knows, SNY's Andy Martino reports that the Yankees and the Padres are exchanging names in a potential Juan Soto trade. There are stories coming out they will not trade any of their young superstars, Dominguez or Volpe, but they have mentioned King as a possible trade piece. I don't see the Yankees trading Michael King either, but there's quite a few young prospect pitchers that the Yankees have in their farm system that a lot of people are asking about. So maybe one of those or 2 of those guys could go. The Blue Jays have been taking calls for both Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is an interesting story because Vladimir Guerrero is, to me, one of the best power hitters in baseball and one of the best young power hitters in baseball. And Bichette, who's also a very good player, last year had a fantastic season. I'm really questioning what the Blue Jays are trying to do right now. I understand there were a lot of people thinking that Ohtani would be interested in going to play for the Blue Jays. And we've heard Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. saying that let's not even talk contracts right now. Let's get Ohtani here, and then next year we'll talk contracts. So it's a very interesting story. It doesn't make any sense, and maybe they're still one of those lead teams that could be interested in getting Ohtani, and they're not going to be able to sign all 3 of these guys, so maybe they move one of them. I don't know. It is a very interesting story. Latest MLB signings and rumors we will get into. Von Miller issued an arrest warrant for alleged assault of a pregnant woman. Oh, my God. I don't – again, Von Miller is a multimillionaire. And until we know this full story and it comes out, I don't believe anything that you read. So this is an interesting story. We're definitely going to get into it. And if it is true, Von Miller's in a lot of trouble. His NFL career is over. There's no question if this is true. Thunder's point guard, Josh Giddey, being investigated for a relationship with a 16-year-old girl. This is a crazy story. And I love Josh Giddey. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great young superstar. I do believe one way or another he will be a starting point guard in this league. It might not be with OKC, but and right now, what is OKC going to do with him if this story is true? I look at it, a 16-year-old, a 21-year-old. I mean, it's a 5-year difference, but she is underage when it comes to Oklahoma. We will get into this. This is a very interesting story. Let's parlay with Wes and Derek at 8:30, and we will get into our Week 13 picks. We're going to get into a lot of NFL conversation. We'll throw a little NBA into it as well as we move forward in the show. So why don't we get into it? I want to get into this Von Miller story because this story, to me, is the lead story right now out of all the stories that we have set up here. The Dallas Police Department announces that they are issuing an arrest warrant for Von Miller for allegedly assaulting a pregnant woman. According to police statements, Miller and the alleged victim got into a verbal argument whereupon Miller allegedly assaulted the victim. The police department responded to this matter as a major disturbance on Wednesday morning. Cops say the woman had been treated with minor injuries but did not need to go to the hospital. Miller had reportedly seen this woman for the last 7 years but didn't know she was pregnant. I'm sorry. Reportedly seen this woman for about 7 years, but obviously he didn't even know she was pregnant. So maybe that was where the fight happened. But the woman said that Miller grabbed her, pushed her, yanked some of her hair, and grabbed her arms and wrapped them around her neck. The woman recorded a video of this incident, which has been given to the police, and photos to prove she was 6 months pregnant. I don't know if he's the father, and obviously the story is going to come out, and I understand she has video, and I understand that we've seen this over and over and over again in professional football, and we've seen this in baseball too. Married couples or girlfriends that have been abused by their husband or their boyfriend. This has been going on in the NFL a lot. And we remember the New York Giants kicker Brown, who was doing it with his wife, and he was beating up his wife for years, and everybody knew about it, including the Mara family and the Tisch family, and they threw it under the rug. They didn't want to do anything. And then obviously the story came out, and then they fined him, and then they eventually suspended him, and then got rid of him. I don't know if this story is true. Maybe she does have video. Maybe this story is going to grow legs. But again, we have seen this before. We have seen NFL players also be accused of things that they haven't done. Now, I've never heard any story come out over the years about Von Miller being abusive or any of that. I do know Von Miller is one of those leaders that you respect, one of the better defensive players we've seen in the NFL for the last 15 years. This guy is, I believe, a Hall of Famer. There's no question he's a Hall of Famer. He won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He was a big reason why they won the Super Bowl. I think he was the MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
He was, he was the MVP with the Broncos.
Yes.
And he also won with the Rams.
Yes. And I look at this story, and it's sad. And the NFL definitely has to investigate it because, obviously the police is going to investigate it. And this could be worse in that situation more than the NFL finding him and suspending him and maybe kicking him out of the league. We've seen this before. Ray Rice was one of those guys. She wasn't pregnant, his wife or soon to be wife. He was in an elevator. He was drinking. Something happened in the casino, and he knocked his wife out, or his future wife out. And then what happened? He gets suspended, and he never plays in the NFL again. Now, Von Miller is 31, 32 years old. He's a little bit up there in age. He just got $100 and some odd $1 million contract from the Buffalo Bills. I don't see anybody taking on a contract like that if the Buffalo Bills decide to waive him. I think his career is over if this story is true and it comes out to be true. Now, I sit here today, and I understand what Roger Goodell is trying to do. He's trying to fix the league. He's trying to look at the league as a whole, not just in the fact of domestic violence and drug abuse and all that other stuff, because I've heard quite a few NFL players being caught with doing that, and also betting on sports now, which has become a very popular thing for NFL players to do. But when you look at this and you look at the fact that domestic violence has been going on in professional sports for 25, 30 years. It's been going on a long, long time. And then finally the NFL steps in and they're starting to dropping hammers on these players because they shouldn't be putting their hands on women. And now you sit here and you wonder, where is the NFL with this? Why isn't the NFL doing more when it comes to this? Because this has been going on for the last 5 years. How many domestic violent things that we've seen come out of the NFL? I would say about 5 or 6 in the last 5 years. Why isn't the NFL suspended these guys significantly? Now, I know the whole Watson thing. Watson was getting, he was getting hand jobs and whatever he was doing over there at the Texans facility. Okay, and that was illegal too, and that's something that the NFL is not going to like or is going to push when it comes to professional sports, obviously. But when you look at this story and Von Miller, if this is true or if it's not true, what is the NFL going to do to Von Miller? Von Miller is very well respected in the NFL, and he's very well respected around his peers. You sit here right now. Where is this? And again, I'm going to say this very calm and collective because I don't know if this story is true. We have seen so many different things over the years with professional baseball. We all remember Aroldis Chapman. Remember that? Shooting a gun through a shed or something like that and almost hit his girlfriend. And then Domingo Germán. Remember that? A couple of, 2 years ago? The baseball dropped the hammer on him. Rob Manfred dropped the hammer on Domingo Germán. What did he miss? 80 games? Mm-hmm. Now, if this is true, there's no 80 games when it comes to football. There's 17 games in a season.
So if you're going to judge that, it would be 8 games. It'd be like half the season.
I suspend him for a full season without pay. And the NFL has to look like this. Myles Garrett, how many games did he miss by taking his helmet off and trying to hit a quarterback?
I think just the last 2 of that season and then only 1 in the next season.
No, he missed more than that. I think he missed like 6 games.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was last month of the season. Yeah.
He missed like 6 games. And I look at this. This is even worse than that. You're putting your hands on a woman. You're beating a woman up. How could you sit here and let this go? And Roger Goodell, he's been sweeping things under the rug for years. The CTE situation, paying players for obviously that have retired and giving them what they need to obviously to rehabilitate when it comes to brain injury, knee injuries, back injuries, $100 million. And then we sit here right now and we wonder where the NFL is going with this. It disrupts what the NFL is trying to build as a product.
Yeah. I was going to say, and they're also inconsistent with it, too. Like, you talked about Josh Brown. Josh Brown only got, 2 games. And meanwhile, somebody like Ezekiel Elliott, who ended up being wrongfully convicted, got 6 games. And Watson got 12. So they really don't have a standard of anything right now. And you wonder, somebody like Von Miller, who I agree definitely should be suspended the rest of this season, maybe even longer than that.
Well, you can't suspend him unless you know if this story is true. She says she has video. But does she have video him hitting her or grabbing her?
Right.
If she has video, just videoing her arms being grabbed, I don't know, her mother could have done it.
Yeah.
Her father could have done it. Her sister could have done it to her.
Right.
So if she doesn't have video of absolute, and remember, there's videos, there's so many cameras all over the place now. So if somebody didn't catch Von Miller's a big man. The guy's like 6'4", 260 pounds. He's a linebacker, defensive end. He's a big man. And if they're doing it in a public spot, I don't know if it was in a public area, somebody has a video of it. And if they don't, and if it's in the stages of her house, and she just has video of her arms, bruises on her arm, that's not enough to convict him. And it could be about a baby, or could be about money.
And I think the recording was actually done after there was initial just fighting too. I think she put the recorder on, so we don't even know what vantage point it was at too. She could have just set it in her pocket or something like that and recorded the audio, and who knows what would have happened at that point. I don't know if it'll be proof enough just on that. What she was describing definitely sounds a lot worse than some of these situations we've seen. The worst one probably was Greg Hardy with the NFL standards, but
oh my God, what he did to his girlfriend. Oh my God.
We've seen all different levels.
He almost killed her.
Yeah, I know, with weapons, bombs, explosives, whatever it was.
And he still got a job by the Cowboys.
Yeah, the great Jerry Jones. Not caring about off-field issues, but yeah, and this is a different standard of that. It's still very violent too, so you wonder that kind of thing. Like you said, the Bills are going to be stuck with that contract for a while. So there's 4 more years left on that deal. Remember, they signed him as a 6-year deal, which is $20 million a year. Which
how many years is dead cap?
Yeah, dead
is
cap.
It 2? I think it's 2 years that would cost them with dead cap.
Yeah,
money.
which you're right. It's going to be untradeable at this point.
Nobody's going to take that contract on, and Von Miller is a shell of himself. He's not the same player he was, and they gave him that contract because of the little bit of time that they saw him on the field when he was traded to the Buffalo Bills.
It's
So
$40 million of dead cap this year. It's 32 next year, and then it drops down after that. So it looks like the contract, luckily, is front loaded. Next year, they might be stuck with it, but they can probably get out of it a year after that.
it's so interesting. And I like Von Miller as a player. I think he's a sensational player. I know he has a bunch of farms. He plans to retire and build, so many different farms around the country, and with cows and chickens and turkeys and whatever the hell he has. I saw, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, at CBS, I would think it was, 60 Minutes or something he was on. And he's an interesting guy. He's an interesting cat, as everybody calls him. But I think that Von Miller right now is a Hall of Famer. If he were to retire right now, but if this story is true, this could hurt him going into the Hall of Fame.
Definitely.
Why would the NFL or the board actually vote him in if this story is true?
Yeah, we were talking about it with Terrell Owens all the time. Like, Terrell Owens got kept out for a lot of things that were a lot worse.
Terrell Owens,
not even close to being as bad.
What they did to Terrell Owens was a catastrophe. Okay, I understand that he has a lot of interesting personalities off the field. Okay, as if you remember Terrell Owens, there was something going on with the San Francisco 49ers, and he was doing the sit-ups on the end of his driveway, and people were, videotaping, and he was doing sit-ups. It made no sense. And then obviously with the Cowboys pulling his pants down or dancing around the Cowboy star after San Francisco beat them. So there's a lot of things, and signing balls and dancing around and signing the cameras over the years after he scores a touchdown and dancing around. So Terrell Owens, yeah, he's not a likable person when it comes to, he's a sore winner, and he's a talented player. I think Terrell Owens is the second greatest wide receiver of all time, right behind Jerry Rice. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, not a second ballot Hall of Famer. And if the fact that Randy Moss is a first ballot Hall of Famer, for all the complications and stuff that's been going on with his background, especially off the field, how is he a first ballot Hall of Fame and Terrell Owens isn't? But that's the NFL, and that's what the NFL likes to do. If they like somebody, they like his punctuality, they're going to induct him into the Hall of Fame faster than the other guy who doesn't want to have anything to do with the NFL after he leaves.
Right. And you wonder, a lot of these modern players, that most of these domestic violence issues and these other off-field issues that have gotten caught, a lot of them have been recently with a lot of this new era of NFL players. I would say probably the last 10 years, these instances have started. Ray Rice, you're right, was the first real big one that I think had the ripple effect of it. And obviously Ray Rice, I don't think had a long enough career to go to the Hall of Fame anyway, but still he was on that path if he played probably 3 more years or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. And Von Miller on paper is arguably the best outside rusher with this era, this decade of football, and won a Super Bowl MVP, like you were saying, in 2 Super Bowls.
He's a fantastic player. And like I said, he is absolutely a Hall of Famer. But this story, if this is a true story and she has video and she has proof that he was beating her up or grabbing her or abusing her and she's pregnant, I mean, you're talking about a life in somebody's stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I don't know if it's his kid. Maybe she's claiming that it's his kid. I don't know. Remember, he's been with her for 7 years, I guess. I don't know what truth there is. And I thought Von Miller was married. I didn't even know. I mean, he's been in a league for what? 11 years, 12 years or something like that.
Draft, so he'd be 12 years. Yeah.
12 years. So you would have thought that he would be married right now, but obviously not. I know he was on Dancing with the Stars. Didn't he win Dancing with the Stars?
I don't remember.
But I think he did win Dancing with the Stars. But Von Miller is a likable person. This is, like I said, we have to find out more of this story to really argue the points, and maybe the NFL have to dig deep into the story, because the police right now holds the videos. The police holds all the information that this woman has given them, and it would bother me if I was the Buffalo Bills right now.
Oh yeah,
because they're paying this guy a lot of money, and now the NFL is probably telling, well, you're going to have to suspend him or sit him until we investigate this story and we know the truth to the story. So it's not a good sign for the Buffalo Bills.
And again, maybe the team to suspend him too at this point. If they be the bigger person here, because sometimes we know the NFL isn't.
Multiple reports believe trading for Juan Soto will just be a rental, and he will most likely hit free agency in 2025, no matter where he is traded. There is a belief that with Scott Boras as his agent, Soto will target a contract close to $500 million, which they don't expect him to get this offseason if he were to sign an extension. The Padres are reportedly in a lot of financial trouble, having to take out $50 million loan to resolve a lot of luxury tax and payroll issues from last season. SNY's Andy Martino reports that the Yankees and Padres are already exchanging names in a potential Juan Soto trade. Martino added that the Padres are looking for one of Jason Dominguez and Anthony Volpe and one of Clark Schmidt or Michael King in the deal. The Padres are also reportedly interested in top pitching prospects in Drew Thorpe, along with other pitching prospects like Will Warren and Chase Hampton, both of which the New York Yankees believe that they're MLB ready. New York Post MLB insider John Heyman reports that he believes the Yankees will try to do the deal without Dominguez or Volpe, saying they are too talented to give up for a potential 1-year rental. You know, I have said this over and over again. The Yankees have been should have been looking for a left-handed power bat for many, many years. And this has been a huge problem for the New York Yankees, and really on the reasons why Brian Cashman might not have a job at the end of this year. And to me, the Yankee Stadium is a left batting ballpark. Everybody knows it's for power left bats. And to bring in Juan Soto, and I understand this, I don't think the Padres are going to get back what they gave up to get him.
Not even close.
Okay. And by the way, we don't even know if any of those players are going to turn out to be anything. When you look at Jason Dominguez, before he got hurt, before he tore his UCL this year, he was on his way. He looked pretty good. He was hitting the ball against the Astros, which he was the only Yankee hitting against the Astros. The Yankees have had problems against the Astros pitching for years. Dominguez was actually hitting the ball. And Anthony Volpe, who wins a Gold Glove this offseason, after this season, he's a pretty good power hitter at the shortstop position. He's a very unique player who can steal 30 bases a year. The Yankees haven't had a player like this since Derek Jeter. And this kid has more power than Derek Jeter. Now, could he hit for average? That's the question. But nobody hit for average last year. Nobody in the MLB. So you look at the league right now, and you look at where the Yankees are. Even if they add Juan Soto, are they a playoff contending team? Is Juan Soto going to take them to the top? When you look at their division, there are a lot of questions. Now, Tampa is looking to trade maybe one or two of their stars this offseason. But whenever they trade one or two of their stars, they bring in great young talent that turn into stars. What have the Yankees done over the last couple of years? They bring in old stars that absolutely suck in Yankee Stadium. They're not the same players. A.K. Donaldson, who's been here, who was there for 2.5 years. He didn't work out for the New York Yankees after trading Gary Sanchez to the Twins for him. And then you sit here and you wonder, Juan Soto, are you willing to trade away a Jason Dominguez or an Anthony Volpe or Clark Schmidt or a Michael King? I wouldn't trade any one of those guys. Any one of those guys, especially when you're hearing Scott Boras say that his client is going to free agency. So you could lose him in free agency. So you're going to give up your 4 best young prospects that could be stars. I would say Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez, and Michael King are up-and-coming good young players. I don't know about Clark Schmidt. He's a good pitcher. He's on and off. I don't know if he's a relief pitcher or he's a starting pitcher. But those 3 guys, I would never trade. I would never trade a big piece like that for a guy you're not going to be able to keep.
I would try to avoid trading King at all costs too, because we know King has been good in every role for the Yankees too. Like no matter what role, whether it's like you said, a middle end back end starter or a relief pitcher that can go long, a relief pitcher that can close, I would try to not trade him at all costs if you can, especially since the Padres are interested in a lot of these other pitchers too. And this report even hurts the Padres even more because they were already dealing with the financial issues as it was. Now you're dealing with a guy in Scott Boras saying, "Oh, Juan Soto is going to go chase a $500 million contract in free agency." That's already going to diminish the value even more for the Padres, who are stuck with these other contracts as it is too. I was thinking the Padres might even try to make a trade for MLB players that can help them win now, more pitching depth because they really need pitching depth, and maybe some other veteran depth hitters. Now I don't know if they're going to be able to get that kind of thing either, unless maybe they negotiate with the Blue Jays with their guys at this point.
I think you guys are delusional. You're talking about a 25-year-old kid who's amazing, who's been an MVP, who terrorizes the league. Everybody knows Boras.
He's never won an MVP.
No, in the World Series.
Yeah, he was an MVP World Series. Yes,
the biggest stage. He's 25 years old. He's a left-handing hitting power guy, and you're worried about fringe starters? Really?
Fringe starters. Dominguez is a fringe starter?
No, we're talking about Michael King.
Oh, Michael King is a good player.
He's okay.
When he started at the end of the season, he was actually really good.
He had good. Okay.
He's got great stuff.
Consistency is key. He's never been consistent, so cut it out.
Mike,
you're talking about a 25-year-old future Hall of Fame All-Star MVP.
Well, hold on 1 second. You're saying a future Hall of Famer. He hasn't done anything yet except win a World Series. That was the 1 year. No, he really hasn't.
Numbers are not.
No. He went to the Padres. Look at the team that he has around him. Look at the talent he has around him. You should be a World Series championship team every single year. That's 3 years you had talent that good around you, and you can't even you couldn't even make the playoffs. You couldn't even make the playoffs. So you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me, hey, Juan Soto, he's a great player. He had 30 home runs.
Listen, baseball is not an individual
Look at the team,
sport.
Mike. Look at that team.
The team is dysfunctional, but it has nothing to do about Juan Soto.
And it could have something to do with the trade value that the team will get back, though, because they're trying everything to shed payroll too. Because
that's a whole different ballgame. But you're talking about acquiring a 25-year-old, and you're talking about, I'm not going to give him because he's going to be a rental. Then you don't get him.
Well, and by the way, the team's thinking that way.
And Juan Soto can easily shift the balance in that Yankee lineup.
No, from a baseball standpoint, he could do that.
But here's the problem.
That's the question.
Are you going to
what's the answer to that question?
$500 million, that's one. Number two, are you going to be able to keep him at the end of the season? If you're going to trade away Michael King, who, by the way, his ERA last year was a 2.75 as a starter, and his whip was close to 1. I mean, this guy could be a dominant starter. He could be your third or even second guy. He could be your number one in the future.
I want to ask you a question.
He could be your number one in the future.
So you're telling me you're going to hold back trading for Juan Soto
if you're only going
over a guy named Michael King?
You're not just giving up Michael King. They want at least 2 of those guys.
They want 2 top 100 prospects.
They want at least 2 of those guys and maybe one of the other pitching prospects that they have. You're going to give up Dominguez or Volpe or Michael King or Clark Schmidt? I would not. I would give if you want Clark Schmidt, I'd give up Clark Schmidt and the 2 young pitching prospects. But I am not giving.
I want to ask you right now.
Yes.
King, Schmidt, and Dominguez for Soto. Done. No questions asked.
King, Schmidt, and Dominguez. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I would consider it. I would probably.
You're not keeping him next year.
That's why
he's already said that he's going to free agency.
Going to free agency. So guess what? You can't pay him, or you're just not inclined.
Listen,
that Steinbrenner is going to shell out $500 million.
No, I think Steinbrenner will, but that doesn't mean he's going to take it. What about the Mets? What up if Steve Cohen says, you know what, you're giving him $500, I'll give him $550. You know, and that's the problem right now. You're giving away top prospects. You're giving up your best prospects, and you're taking a chance with Juan Soto. And if Juan Soto doesn't
every team will be doing that.
I don't think so. There's no way.
So you think
haven't heard the Mets? You haven't heard the Mets offer?
They don't need to. They're not gonna because they know he's going to go to free agency.
Exactly. So why should the Yankees do that?
I'll tell you why. You know why?
Why?
Because you need him on your team to have him make a decision of possibly staying and telling Boris, you know what? If it's only a difference of maybe 25, 50 million, I'll stay here. Every other team that doesn't have that legitimate shot of maybe signing him needs to bring him in to have that shot of re-signing him.
Come on. You know Scott Boras. We all know Scott Boras. He's not going to sit there and say, hey, you know what? We'll spin the wheel, make the deal. We'll cut $30 million because you're the Yankees. He's not doing that. He's going to try to draw as much possible money. Look at Pete Alonso right now. The Mets are thinking about trading him because they don't want to pay him $300 million.
And I wouldn't either.
But again, that's what Scott Boras does. He likes to draw as much possible money he can get out for that player. That's what he does. Right. And that's what he's going to do for one. So the Yankees are going to give up a guy that you have control over, and Dominguez, who's what, 20, not even 20 years old, 21 years old. You're going to give up Michael King.
Don't even talk about Dominguez being 21 because Juan Soto is 25.
That's fine.
He's already more accomplished in 5 years than that kid will ever probably be.
How do you know? This guy is one of the best. This guy was one of the best young prospects when the Yankees signed him. He was.
That's good.
He was.
That's good.
So you sit here and you're saying, well, it's
Juan
good.
Soto
It's good.
came in the league.
Juan
and
Soto, there's
destroyed.
no guarantee that Juan Soto is going to sign a contract if the Yankees offer it at the end of the season. So why should the Yankees give away their 3 best young players that they have right now that are even Anthony Volpe? This guy could be a star.
I wouldn't give up Anthony because you don't really have much behind him.
But why would you give up Jason Dominguez?
I'll tell you why.
How many? Let me ask you a question. How many center fielders that is a 5-tool player that can hit? He can hit lefty and righty and do the things that he does in the league. How many players could do that?
There's not many.
Okay, so why would you give that up if you
you have a 25 future Hall of Famer?
That's what you think. That doesn't mean anything. Machado, everybody keeps talking about Machado being
Machado's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Really? How do you figure? Because Machado is not. His numbers, how old is Machado right now? 28? 29?
29.
29. How many good years does Machado have left?
A good 7?
No way. No way.
No?
No
you don't
way.
think so?
No way.
So 36
no way.
Still hitting baseballs is
how
done?
old is Nolan Arenado?
33?
31, I believe.
31, and he's breaking down. He's breaking down. So now, and Nolan Arenado, that guy, he's as good as any third baseman we've seen in a very long time.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Right now? No.
Probably not right
No.
now, but yeah, maybe
No.
a couple years
He's
or
not.
two.
He's not. Oh, my God. Do you want to bring up Nolan Arenado's numbers? Because he's not. I could bring it up right now. Speedy, bring up Nolan Arenado's numbers. Because to me, when you say, oh, my God, you're inclining that he is.
286,
No.
325 home runs, 1,061 RBIs, 343 on base percentage.
No, that's not Hall of Fame numbers. That's not Hall of Fame numbers.
Especially with the rigid standards of the Hall of Fame.
Again, it's not Hall of Fame numbers. That's what they're looking for. Those are not the numbers. Well, let's look at Mike Trout's numbers. Let's bring up him, and he's missed a significant amount of time.
It looks like Arenado's numbers are all ahead of Machado, and they came up about the same time.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't. Neither of them.
Machado is not a Hall of Famer yet, and either is Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, both of them probably need 2 or 3 more years.
More than that. More than that.
Mike Trout, 301, 368 home runs, 940 RBIs, but he also has 206 stolen bases.
And by the way, that guy misses almost 50 games a season, and he has those kind of numbers. That is a Hall of Famer.
I think
that is all. Bryce, let's go to Bryce Harper. Let's look at Bryce
Harper. I think definitely is now.
We could look at Bryce Harper's
His peak
numbers.
with the Phillies.
That is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Nolan Arenado, he's a great defensive player. He is. He's fantastic, and he's a good hitter. But he also played in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
He also played in Colorado. And look at him on St. Louis. He had 1 good year in St. Louis. 1. How about Paul Goldschmidt? Go look at Paul. He's a Hall of Famer. Paul's a Hall of Famer.
Well, he's also 36 years old.
Okay,
he's
but
had
I'm
more
just
time.
saying.
He's had more time in the league to put up numbers to where you're automatically anointing that Arenado is done at 31.
It took Paul Goldschmidt a little while to
Him
develop.
and Arenado are kind of similar, but Goldschmidt is a much better on base percentage, 388, and also
he's
has
a
the
lot
stolen
older.
bases too. So
It took Goldschmidt a little bit longer to develop. It did. It took him till he was like 28 until he really started putting up those numbers.
Right.
So I'm just saying, if you look at it right now, who do we have on the phone?
Snug,
what's up, man?
Oh my goodness, Mikey, welcome back, bud.
What's going on, Whiskers?
It is always great to see you, friend.
Likewise.
I don't know why Earl didn't tell us that you were coming on earlier.
Because he didn't know.
He told me to leave it to be a surprise, Snug.
So it's a Christmas
And
miracle.
my name is not Earl, idiot.
So how you been, Whiskers?
How
What's
are
going
you
on?
not going to respect Miami Heat?
That's not
the
my
one
name.
thing
I
we
don't.
ask.
I can
We just
care
gotta
less
go,
with Miami Heat. That guy's probably in jail right now. Okay, so
That guy is probably in jail.
Yeah.
But that might be
smoking
the
a
best place
dope
for
or
him to
something,
be.
a doobie.
That's kind of stereotyping, don't you think?
No,
Well,
because he was
let's
he was
not
on
convert
he was
things
on
to
a
happy
boat when he was
stuff.
smoking and getting high. What are you talking about?
What's wrong with that? What else are you supposed to do on a boat?
Not when you're calling a radio show. And why would you call a show when you're on a boat hanging out with a bunch of women? Why would you call a radio show?
Now, in his
Would that
defense,
make any sense?
In his defense,
Would
it
that
does
make
sound
any
like
sense?
something
Would
Kenny
you do
would
that?
do.
Would anybody do that?
Kenny might do
That
it.
that was wishful thinking at the moment.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like something Kenny would do. We can't rule it out.
Kenny still calls?
Let
Oh, yeah.
everybody know that you're a player, right? You're calling into
Oh,
the
yeah,
radio
he's a
show.
player,
They know
all right.
you. You're Miami Heat. You've got your own intro that you created yourself. It's like a stuttering rap, like you could do a remix on it.
Whiskers, how you been?
If I was any better, I probably couldn't stand it.
Really?
But then I heard
How's
I
San
heard all
Jose
the-
treating you? Or
Oh,
Santa Barbara,
they're
wherever you're from.
wonderful.
That's good. I got to make
think
it
they
out
just
there one
became-
day.
They just made it as a AAA team, I'm pretty sure. I think they just got demoted to the AHL. Those guys aren't doing anything.
Yeah, your
They
shot's
called
blow
me
right
and asked
now.
me if I just wanted to sit in the goal and eat cupcakes because I'd be just as effective as their current goalie. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking about it. I
pretty
haven't said
bad out
no.
there.
Enjoy having the great David Quinn as your head coach.
I mean,
season
you know.
tickets should be like, a quarter of the price.
No, they're actually it's a reverse process now. It's reverse season tickets. They're actually paying you to come to the games, and the closer you sit and the louder you cheer, the more hot dogs you get.
That sounds about right.
It's pretty sweet, actually. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Snug, what do you want to
That's
get
really-
into? What do you want to get into here?
I wanted to talk about Mr. Soto and the Yankees because think about it like this, right? Juan Soto is an anomaly. He came up at what, 18, 19, something like
Yeah,
that.
18, and he wasn't even the best prospect allegedly at the time.
And you've gotten 7 years to look at him, and you're not willing to trade 3 fringe prospects.
No, they're not fringe.
No, one's not fringe. Dominguez is a good prospect. The other two.
Okay,
Michael
I'm not
King
saying
is a
that-
good player
Stop.
too. You say
They're
stop.
all solid players. We could
Stop.
agree on that,
Stop.
right? Like
In 12 starting
They're-
games,
That's
in
nice.
12 as a
That's
starting
good.
pitcher,
The fifth-
he has
he's
a
the
2-point. How
he's
many
the
pitchers?
fifth
How many
starter.
pitchers? How many? No, he's not.
I don't care.
No, he's
what
not.
pitchers do what.
No, he's
what
not,
he's done
Mike.
this.
The
what
last 2
he
months,
could scratch
the
his
last-
ass and fall tomorrow.
Mike, the last 2 months of the
He's a
season.
fifth
The last 2
starter.
months of the season, he was the Yankees' second best pitcher. So
that
what are you
shows
talking
you how bad the pitching is. And the Yankees,
Really?
yeah,
Really? A
yeah.
2.75 ERA.
It's only Cole and him. That's how good it was.
His
What did he do?
whip almost
a
at
fifth,
one.
A fifth
At
string
one.
pitcher.
A fifth. He's
is
not
your
a fifth
second string.
Mike, he's not a
Wow.
fifth. First of all, he was one of the best closers in baseball.
Oh, now he's
Before
the best closer to
Dude,
the second
he
best
was.
pitcher.
Speedy.
Which one is it?
Speedy.
The best closer
Speedy, was
or
he
the
not?
best pitcher?
He was
Come
one
on,
of them.
I need to know.
Are you going to
Come
let me
on.
speak? He was the Yankees closer, you idiot. What are you talking about?
He's the best
If you know
starting
anything about the
closer ever.
Yankees, you would know he was a closer. That's what you would know.
He was a
And-
spot closer.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No, he wasn't. He was the closer for the Yankees. Then they decided in the second half to move him to the starting pitching rotation. And by the way, he flourished.
Wow.
2.75,
That's
whip
phenomenal.
under one. That's what it
amazing.
was.
32
That's
walks,
great.
still
All I'm gonna say
127
is
That
strikeouts,
is
too.
amazing.
120.
All, you know what?
32
I
walks to
I got a
120
question.
strikeouts.
What was his ERA?
2.75.
How many Cy Young votes did he get?
What are you talking
Relief
about?
pitchers are not going to get
No,
Cy
he's
Youngs.
good, right? He's the second
He
starter.
came
Right
in
behind
as a
Cole.
starter in the second
He was
half.
a closer
In the second
and a
half.
starter. How many Cy Young votes
He
did he
sounds
get?
like an idiot. He sounds like an idiot.
He's a
What are
fifth string
Are
pitcher,
you
dude.
listening? Are you? Is
You're
it
making
sinking
him
in your
seem
head?
like he's going to be
Is-
Cy Young next
in
year.
the second half.
He sucks.
No,
He had a
suck,
good 2
suck.
months. Let's see consistency.
Speedy,
What did he do the year
Go
before?
bring up-
What did he do the year
Go bring
before?
up. Go bring
What
up
did
the
he
Mets.
do the year before? Consistency is key. Be quiet. What did he do the year before?
What are you talking about? Be quiet. He was injured.
All right, year before.
I gotta go.
2.29
Really? Come on, give me a break.
2.29 ERA.
Stug, what do you want to talk about?
66 strikeouts.
Talk about your Soto because this Michael King shit is a joke.
That just shows you how much
I
you
don't
know about
exactly
baseball.
what it
That
was.
just
Okay.
shows you how much you know
Too
about
much.
baseball.
You're-
That shows you how much
I
you
know
about
more
baseball.
than you, buddy, and you
No,
know
oh,
that.
really?
But
No, you
you're
don't.
worried about
no,
2
no, you
months
don't.
of Michael
Not
King?
about Michael King because you
Oh
know
my God.
nothing about
Okay.
Michael King.
Yeah.
How many
Talk
Mets
to me this
pitchers?
year.
How many Mets pitchers had a 2.7 ERA this year? How many? Zero. You're saying
the Mets had the Mets had a bad year.
Zero.
But what's your
Zero.
point?
What's
But
my
the
point?
Mets have nothing to do with it.
But you
You're
speak
talking
so
about
highly.
Michael King. We're talking about Juan Soto.
I'm telling you
You
what.
bring up the Mets. That's
You're
how
telling me-
delusional you
you're
are.
telling me he's a
because you're
fifth
trying to
string-
bring up my
you're
team
telling-
when it has nothing to do
You're
with
telling
Michael
me
King.
he's a fifth string
You're
starter.
circling your
No,
words,
no, I'm
bro.
not, Mike.
Don't
No,
go
I'm not.
after the Mets
Mike,
when the Mets are not in the
mute him.
conversation.
Mute him.
You were
Mute him.
talking about Soto.
Mute him. Mute him.
You have no clue what you're talking about.
Listen, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to talk to you about Michael King, and you're saying he's a
But
spot-up
you-
pitcher, a
but you brought in the
2.75
Mets.
ERA.
It
And
has nothing to do with anything.
Mike, all right, let him answer the questions. I'm done arguing with you with this. You sound
You
stupid.
make no
You
sense.
sound no. What? I don't
You-
make any sense.
No, you don't.
Mike,
You're talking about Michael King that you would not throw in for Juan Soto.
Speedy,
That's really
give the numbers
topic.
again. Give the
That's
numbers
the
again.
topic.
Give the numbers again.
You're
Mike.
going off topic.
I don't give-
2.75 ERA. He had 32 walks, 120 27 strikeouts, and a 1.14 whip.
Okay.
And
Okay,
how many
I'm
Cy
done.
Young votes?
I'm done. That has nothing to do with
Relief
it.
pitchers
He
don't get Cy
came
Young
in the
votes.
second half as a starter.
Are you
How many
sure?
times
Wait,
does
hold
it
on,
sink
hold
in
on,
his head?
Hold on.
Oh
Are
my
you sure
God.
Cy Young?
Oh my
relief
God.
pitchers don't get Cy Young
This
votes?
is
They have to have
ridiculous.
an
Sure, hold on.
insane
You
year.
sound stupid, Mike.
No,
You
no,
really sound
no, no.
stupid. What does
No,
it matter?
I'm just asking a
He's
question.
coming in the second half as a starter. He's not going to get any Cy Young votes. He's not. It's stupid. You sound like an idiot here. It is really stupid. I don't
Somebody
even know why
calling
we're
the kettle
arguing
black.
this. It's so stupid. You know what's going to be so funny? I can't wait until the year starts. And Michael King has a 5-0 record. His ERA is under 2. And this idiot over here is going to say, well, now I know Michael King can actually pitch. Meanwhile, he has proven year in and year out, including as a closer, one of the best closers.
Year in and year out?
Yes, dude.
What did he do last
yes,
year?
yes.
2.29 ERA. Exactly 1 whip in 51 innings pitched. He had
As a
16 walks,
reliever, right?
66 strikeouts.
One of the best relievers in baseball.
Yeah, he didn't have any starts last year.
No starts.
34
last year.
No, he
34
just
games.
became a starter in the second half
I
of
got a
this coming
question.
year.
Wait, was he the closer last year?
Yes, he was.
He was for some of the season. Clay Holmes was the other half. Clay
Yes.
Holmes was it for the first
Clay
half. then
Holmes
he
got
fell off.
hurt.
And yeah.
Clay Holmes got hurt, and then he took over, and then he was one of the best closers in baseball.
I'm sorry. Who was the closer this year for the team?
It was
He was.
mostly him.
Michael King.
It was Holmes at certain points in the year. and
Michael
then they
King in
wrote-
the first
Hold on,
half.
hold on.
Yeah.
Who led the team in saves?
Michael
Who-
King.
Okay.
Michael King.
He did? He had
Michael
more
King.
saves?
Michael King.
Michael King had more saves than
Michael
Holmes?
King. Michael King. Yes. Michael
I
King
don't
was
know
the
about
closer. Yes, he was the closer in the first half of the season. They decided to move him to the starting rotation. Yes, they did. So whatever. Good Snug, come on. Let's hear some more and let's get you off the phone. I have a lot
So
of things
first
to
of
get
all,
into.
I will say I've never seen anyone so in love with a 2.75 ERA. So
Really?
props to that.
Really?
I mean,
Really?
it's a nice ERA, but that's not
Oh,
anything.
you love
record-breaking.
you love Ohtani's ERA every single year. Oh, 3.33. Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful ERA. You and Jeff, like, you want to lick his ass. Okay, it's ridiculous.
Why does it
and this is a
always have to go to
2.75.
the ass?
Just
Like,
go
no one
ask
here said
your
anything about
question.
ass but
Ask
you.
your question and get off. Ask your question and get
So,
off.
What I was going to point out about Juan Soto is that the Yankees aren't willing to let these 3 players go. But wouldn't you want a competitive advantage if you could have Juan Soto for a year, independent of what he does on the diamond, right? Because we're going to assume he's going to hit certain metrics. He may have a better year, may have a little bit less of a
I
year.
think he could have a better
he's
year
got
in that stadium.
well, not to mention the short porch, which he would fall in love with. But give him a year to hit on that short porch.
Can you
and
think of a
wouldn't trade
lineup?
those-
Hold on, Snug. I'm sorry to cut you off. Volpe 1, Judge 2, him 3. Are you kidding me? That's the new murder's
He's
row.
going to see a lot of fastballs.
You're out of your mind.
Whole lot of them.
You're out of your
Oh,
mind.
I'm sorry, but we can't give up
You're out of your mind.
a fifth string pitcher.
No, fifth. He's not a
But
fifth
see,
string.
Oh, I'm
pitcher.
sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right.
They
I'm sorry.
don't just
A
want Michael
second-string
King.
pitcher
They
on
don't
the
just
Yankees.
want Michael
My
King.
bad.
Is
Let
it
me
not
rephrase
sinking
it.
in your head?
My
They
bad.
want one of
sorry.
those two.
We won't give up the second string pitcher on the Yankees.
They
My
want Dominguez or Volpe, and they want Michael King, Clark, and one of their best young pitching prospects. That's too much for
No,
a guy
I
that you're renting.
No,
that you're renting.
I said Dominguez, Schmidt, and King, and you said probably not. I didn't throw in Thorpe or whatever because I think on a 1-year rental that's a lot because Dominguez is a high-end prospect and that's a lot, and he's already proven. Even though he'll be out majority of the year or
He's
half
out
the year,
for the whole season.
or now it's a whole season.
I think the Yankees are going to keep
I heard
him out.
they might he might come back after the All-Star break or August.
They're looking for
to
a
the
center
sideline.
fielder right now. So if
Well,
they're
of course, because of that factor. And you got it.
if they land a center fielder, Dominguez will not be back next year. I cannot see Dominguez coming back from a UCL tear where his strength is his arm, throwing the ball down. You know, he's got one of the best arms at center field. People say in baseball, why would you bring him back or rush him back? That's a stupid move by the Yankees. They're not going to do that. I don't think you see Jason Dominguez this year. I really don't. Not something like that. Remember when Torres tore his UCL?
I think it all depends on who they sign.
He was out. He was out for the season.
I believe.
He was out.
No,
for the
no,
season.
I know that, but I'm saying I also think it depends. Like if you have a fringe guy and he's healthy, you're going to play him. If you have a guy that's doing adequately well, no, you may not play him.
Maybe in the infield, an outfielder, a center fielder that uses his arm a lot. I'm not doing that. This kid is 20 years old. You're going to bring him back and take a chance where he's going to throw his arm out again.
Also, think about how many outfield prospects the Yankees have already damaged.
Yeah, I won't do that. I won't do that. I don't know what Dominguez is. What we did see, the little bit of what we saw at Dominguez, he looked pretty good. And I'm not taking a chance on bringing him back early. I'm not taking a chance of trading him. I understand Juan Soto's sensational. He's a good player. 275, 35 home runs, 109 RBIs, 97 runs batted in. I mean, 97 runs in. So we all know what he is. We know how he's talented he is. He's sensational. He's really good. And there's no doubt about it. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. He's definitely has to be more consistent. But if he continues on this pace, he's a Hall of Famer. What scares me here, if you're the Yankees and you're sitting here today and now listen, if they know Juan Soto is going to sign with them at the end of the season, if there's some kind of agreement where the Yankees are going to get the first bid and he already has come out and said that he wants to be a Yankee for the long haul, then I make the trade. I'll do that. But if he's saying that he wants to go to free agency, he wants to test the waters, I am not giving away 2 of my top 4 prospects and one of my best young pitching prospects who we haven't even seen yet for a guy like Juan Soto who's only going to be rented for 1 year. That doesn't mean they're going to win the World Series. There's still a lot of questions to this relief pitching. They couldn't stay healthy in the first half. The Yankees for the last 2 years have been the best relief in baseball. Second half, one of the worst. So, and that tells you one thing: these arms are dying down. So the Yankees have to be very strategic on how they're going to attack this offseason.
And I look at the Yankees too, like they're not one player away of any type of free agency too. Now, because the outfield market is very thin as it is too, like Cody Bellinger, I think is the only quality center fielder that they could sign as a free agent too. Maybe if they do that, they have an incentive to trade Dominguez.
I don't want him either.
I'm not saying you should want Bellinger.
I do not want him either.
He's another one that's very weird to trust with some of his advanced metrics. And why this year, while it was very good, he might be a comeback player of the year candidate. It was kind of fluky. So I don't know if I would trust it, especially on a long-term deal, but it might incentivize to do if they do Bellinger and then they do get Soto as well.
That is another Donaldson signing. I'm telling you right now, they bring in Bellinger, it is going to be a bad signing for the New York Yankees.
I'm worried about a long-term deal, especially because he's a very inconsistent player ever since his first 2 years.
And I don't care if he won an MVP with the Dodgers. He hasn't been the same player since he's won that MVP. I'm not taking a chance with him.
Do you think last year was a bad year for him?
No, it was a good year.
It was a good year, but there were some advanced metrics that showed that he got more lucky at certain points too. So
he's
I don't know
not
if that
worth
kind of
the
thing
money
is
he's going to be asking
retainable for like a long-term deal that he's going to ask for, like a 5+ year deal. I don't know if you necessarily
worth about 26 million.
Yeah.
You're going to give a player like that, who to me is a spot up hitter. That's what he is. He'll go on a 10-game hitting streak and then he won't hit for 10 games. That's what Bellinger has done for years. He's been in the league for how many years? 6
since
years?
2017. He was the same rookie year as Judge.
6 years. Yeah. He's been in the league. So you sit here and you wonder, and again, Bellinger's still young, but for the Yankees, they have to get a guaranteed bat. Now, Juan Soto's a guaranteed bat, but if you're renting him, I am not giving up those type of players. I'm not doing it. I would be afraid to do that if I were the Yankees. And the Yankees will look like the idiots because I'm telling you right now, I don't know if he wants to be a Yankee. I really believe he wants to go to Citi Field. I've been saying that for a long time.
Here's something worth considering. Would you trade Gleyber Torres in that kind of deal with maybe a pitcher? And
because you can use Gleyber Torres to get another player.
Okay.
And the Yankees are going to move Gleyber Torres. They're not re-signing him. So the Yankees have Pereza. They have players that they can move to that second base position. So it's not like it's a loss if you
can he even hit like Torres?
No. Not many people can hit for power like Torres, but you can get a lot for Torres. You need prospects. You need to start building up that farm system. Which, by the way,
all I've been hearing is the Yankees hoarding their prospects and not willing to.
Not for the last 3 or 4 years. Not for the last 3 or 4 years.
A lot of them have gotten hurt, so now they've
not for the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, Florial and all of them. It hasn't worked. And now the Yankees have to rebuild that farm system. Their farm system right now is ranked 17th in baseball or 18th in baseball. What was it, 5 years ago, it was in the top 5.
Right.
So you sit here and you wonder what the Yankees, and that's why Brian Cashman will be out. And that's why I keep saying everybody thinks I'm crazy. But I'm telling you right now, there was a reason why Ing dropped the Marlins position, because she knows something. The Yankees, I guarantee you, the Yankees are going to bring her in. And when Brian Cashman steps down at the end of this year, win, lose, or draw, the Yankees win a World Series, he's still stepping down. Ing is going to take that position. She is the next GM for the New York Yankees. You could book that. I'm telling you that for a fact, because there are many people that have reached out to Ing. We've read stories that many people, and she will not answer to any of them. So why is she not answering to anybody? There are teams out there looking for possible additions to GM. Even the Mets reached out and wanted to talk to her, and she said no. Why? Because she's looking to get the big picture, and that's the New York Yankees. That's what she wants. She wants to take over for the Yankees.
And the Yankees need those kinds of concepts too that they had in Miami. They need young pitching badly and depth with their roster because the
She's
Marlins,
smart.
Yeah.
She knows how to draft. She's very smart, and she's been with the Yankees organization her whole life. And then she went down to the Marlins. She built that team. She helped Derek Jeter build that team. And then after she built it to the top, she decides to walk away because the ownership really ran Derek Jeter out. And Derek Jeter came out and said it as nice as he can on the MLB Network. He was interviewed on the MLB Network, and they were Harold Reynolds asked him, "Well, what made you step down?" And he said, "Listen, there was a lot of things going on with ownership, and I didn't like what the way they were moving forward with it. So I had to step down because I didn't like where it was going. And if it's not coming from me, I don't want to be a part of it."
Yep, Jeffrey Loria could do that to you. He loves throwing players and coaches out all the time.
Yeah, and again, Loria, if you don't remember, he's been known to do stupid things.
Yeah,
so
there's a reason they didn't make the playoffs for like 12 years or so.
Listen, it's interesting. And by the way, Mike is the only one that gets me heated like that. He knows how to get me started, and he knows how to draw me into his.
I wasn't. I was just trying to prove a point.
He was drawing me
You're
into his.
You're talking about a fifth starter.
He's not a fifth starter. He's not a fifth starter. He's not a fit starter. As a matter of fact, he was one of the Yankees' best prospects, pitching prospects. And at the time when they brought him up, they brought Clark Schmidt up because he was a better pitching prospect, and they moved him to the bullpen. He became the better pitcher out of all the guys in their farm system. They moved him to the closing position. He took over for Holmes. And then in the second half of last year, they said, you know what? This guy's got tremendous stuff. Let's move him. Let's move him in a starting role. He came into a starting role, and he had a 2.75 ERA, 120-something strikeouts to 34 walks. And the guy was really, really good. So, and the Yankees are definitely starting him this year. He's going to be probably their third starter right behind Rodon. It's going to be Cole. And by the way, Garrett Cole is going to opt out of his contract after this year. 100%. After winning a Cy Young, he'll probably be up for another Cy Young. He'll be 33 years old. The Yankees are probably praying that he opts out of the contract so they don't have to pay him. He goes, you move Rodon. Maybe you get Yamamoto in the offseason. Maybe you don't. Who knows what happens with Yamamoto? He's going to speak with Boston in December. He's going to talk to the Yankees and the Mets. A lot of people believe he's going to the Dodgers. I think it goes this way. I think it's Boston, the Dodgers, the Yankees. The Mets have no chance of getting him. I do believe that. That's why they went after Severino. And I've been saying that, Speedy.
Yeah, you nailed that
for
one.
over a year. I've been saying that you watch. Severino will be dropped by the Yankees and the Mets will sign him. And everybody looked at me. Why would they want him? Even Josh was telling me.
I don't like the move, but you're right. Their pattern.
And I said, you watch. And by the way, Severino will have a great season. You mark.
I hope you're right.
He will win 15 games for the New York Mets, and he'll be one of their better pitchers. Mark my words. Book it.
15. I don't think 15.
Close to 15 games. I'm telling you, 14, 15 games. He will have an ERA around 3.10, somewhere around there, and he will have 200 and some strikeouts if he stays healthy. I'm telling you right now, Luis Severino will flourish in Citi Field. I'm telling you right now, and the Mets will sign him after that. They'll give him an extension. So I'm telling you.
That's not.
Here's my question to you, though. Like on Soto, it seems very like you have really short-sighted thinking on this. When the Yankees,
you're just noticing that now.
Somebody's going to get 1 year with Juan Soto to wine and dine him and make him fall in love with whatever. And as wonderful as New York is, it's been well documented over the years. Everybody wants to play there. But not only that, he's got a short porch to hit to. He's got a protected lineup, right? He's got Judge in front of him. He's got several other we'll say
that schmuck Rizzo behind them. Yeah, they got a whole bunch.
Yeah, so he's got a protected
They're talking about
lineup.
trading Rizzo. I don't know if you
end of the
listen.
year,
no, they're not going to trade him.
The choice is
I've
going to
been
be
reading.
made by Juan
Okay, they're not.
Soto,
He's got 1 year left.
Scott
We'll
Boras.
see.
And he's Judge's
So
best
why
friend.
wouldn't you give him a
That doesn't
chance
matter.
to fall in love for a fifth starter and a couple of respectable guys that have talent, not garbage. They are reasonable, but you have all this competitive advantage and you can afford it, right? Now, Juan Soto has the advantage of seeing what Shohei Ohtani is going to sign for because it's going to be a massive pile of money. Now,
Correct.
It's not going to be the same amount because he obviously isn't going to ever. I don't think Juan Soto's going to be taking the mound anytime soon, but that's going to be a competitive advantage for him, right? So somebody's going to pay him $500 million. Why wouldn't you want to pay $500 million for a guy that you believe is a potential Hall of Famer? I don't think anyone has Michael King pegged for the Hall of Fame.
First of all, I'm not saying that the Yankees aren't going to pay him.
Not Hall of Fame.
First of all, I said I never said that the Yankees weren't going to pay Juan Soto. He might not want to be a Yankee. That's it. He might go to the Yankees. I've been saying this for a while. He has a connection with Lindor. Him and Lindor are very, very close. They're like brothers. I believe he wants to be a Met. And I believe that if the Yankees trade away those pieces, win, lose, or draw this year, even if the Yankees make the playoffs with Juan Soto and they fall short, he will not sign with the Yankees. And I believe Steve Cohen will give him whatever he wants because you're going to miss out on Ohtani. And I'm telling you right now, they're missing out on him. They've missed out on a lot of big names, the Mets. A lot of big names that everybody thought they were going to get him. And they're going to lose out on Yamamoto, too. So I do believe the one guy that they have him in the bag, and I believe he is in the bag for the Mets, is Juan Soto. The Mets know they don't have to give up any prospects. Why would they have to when they know he's coming to them at the end of the year? The Yankees would be stupid enough to trade away pieces like that and get nothing back for Juan Soto in the end of it. So
see,
I wouldn't do it.
This is all supposition versus facts. Like, we know that short porch in left field is advantageous for a left-handed power hitter, right? We know that is true. Whereas you're saying you believe that the Mets probably want this and they think they might want that, but you don't know.
Who's the richest owner in baseball?
That Judge is going to offer.
Who's the richest owner in baseball?
Sure.
Who's the richest owner in baseball?
I mean,
who's the richest owner in baseball?
The Yankees are now.
Who is the richest owner in baseball?
Just being obviously.
Who
Uncle
is?
Stevie is
all right.
Probably
all right. Uncle
still,
Stevie. $16 billion.
In this argument, they both have tons of money. Hal is a little cheaper about it, but whatever.
Oh, God.
Right? His dad bought it for $10 million.
Okay.
He's
Snug,
okay.
you want to know what's funny? It's like all we ever heard year in and year out, the Yankees are a cash cow team that just funnels money. But now because the son took over, they're like cheap. They're
not cheap. They have the second biggest payroll in baseball.
In a sense to where compared to the father that everybody,
nobody's going to pay $80 million over the luxury tax except Steve Cohen. Okay,
George went up if he was alive.
I don't know.
George Steinbrenner was alive.
George Steinbrenner.
Oh my God, you would have everybody.
George Steinbrenner never went over $80 million.
I don't really care.
He never did that.
Care.
Yeah. He never did that.
I know, but he wouldn't care because obviously salaries escalated tremendously.
You don't know that. And
I'm my God, I would
the
think
game
so.
Is
If he had his marbles and he was here today, oh my God.
But you're talking about past tense. I'm talking about now. Right. And when you look at the organization right now, they're going a different way.
The Yankees actually could do it. They just choose not to. They could do it. It's not.
They have the money.
Yeah, they have money. Exactly.
I'm not saying that the Yankees don't have. They're the. As far as an organization,
I understand what you're saying. Steve is the biggest, rich owner, but the Yankees make money.
I'm not saying that the Yankees don't make money. Again, Uncle Stevie will dig into his pockets because this guy's a hedge fund guy. He'll lose $1 billion and gain $1 billion in 6 months. It's different, and I'm telling you right now.
So Uncle Stevie understands that risk is required for reward.
Yeah, really? Because his risks have not turned into rewards. Okay. As a matter of fact, Uncle Stevie,
doesn't care,
hold on,
he'll keep taking risk until he gets it right.
And we have to get off topic because we have other topics to get into. But I will say this. Uncle Stevie has spent over $1.4 billion since he's taken over for the Mets. What have the Mets won? The Mets are under 500 in the last 2.5 years. Okay. They've won nothing. So spending money doesn't sell anything. Okay. And by the way, you sit here and I've argued with Josh many, many times about Lindor and this and this and that. And I listen, I'm not comparing him. I will not compare him to Aaron Judge. But when Lindor is not in the lineup, the Mets still win. When Aaron Judge isn't in the lineup, the Yankees don't win. So it shows you that the Mets are overpaying a player that is not as good as everybody thinks he is. Okay. And that's what I'm going to say. I always thought that Lindor move was a terrible move by the Mets. But again, they needed to bring
the
a
trade
superstar.
was good. The signing is hard.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Because I was the first one that advocated for the trade. When I saw that signing, I was like, no.
I didn't like this.
He's not a difference maker. And I'll be the first Met fan to tell you that. And I don't care what other Met fans even think because they don't know shit themselves.
There you go. Snug, thank you for calling, bud.
All right. So shout out to
Whiskers.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. It was a Christmas miracle. Shout out to Jeff, the best caller in the show. Shout out to Dennis.
I know what he's going to do. You see, I am very good and very understanding when it comes to Snug the cat. Okay, he is an interesting fellow that loves to say stupid things, and if I gave him enough time to say what he really wanted to say, he would have called me Earl, which I don't want to hear. And this is what he does all the time. And by the way, I know Mikey likes to get under my skin. He can say whatever.
I actually would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Hey, Mike,
I was just trying to put reality back into your eyes, kid.
Listen, that's not reality.
You're in La La Land.
That's your reality. Your reality is crazy reality, all right? And I'm telling you right now, you're out of your mind.
Next year, I want to vote because I'm voting for Cy Young.
All right.
I'm just telling you right now.
I'll tell you this.
on the baseball
I'll
writers
tell you
now.
this, Mike. I'll tell you this. If King pitches 30 games this year, he will have.
We'll reconvene back to this conversation.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to stick it
because
to
he ain't gonna pitch.
All right. Well, we'll see. I disagree.
30 starts is a lot.
And he will do it. I'm telling you right now, the kid's got a great arm. He really does. And after coming back from Tommy John's, he looks even better. He looks even better coming back from Tommy John's. The Rays are reportedly open to trading Randy. Oh, hold on. How do you pronounce his name? Rosarina. I always mess up this guy's name. And the starting pitcher, Tyler Glasnow. Both the Cubs and the Reds have expressed interest in trading for Glasnow, as well as the Guardians pitcher, Shane Bieber. The White Sox are reportedly close to trading pitcher Dylan Cease, with the Cardinals, Braves, and Dodgers being likely candidates for him. The Dodgers are involved with everybody. The Cardinals already signed Sonny Gray to a 3-year, $75 million contract. Love that deal, by the way. And both Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn to a 1-year deal. Gray and Gibson are both 34 years old and Lynn 36. The Mets signed infielder Joey Wendell to a 1-year, $2 million deal, and Luis Severino to a 1-year, $13 million deal. I don't expect any big things to happen until January. And this is what usually happens. They wait until Christmas is over, and then one thing drops. And I'm going to tell you who's going to drop first. Juan Soto. Juan Soto will be traded either before Christmas or right after Christmas. And then in January, you're going to see all the eggs drop. Ohtani will sign with the Dodgers. Yamamoto will probably go either to the Dodgers, Red Sox, or Yankees. That's what I believe. And that's Jeff.
No, it's the beef.
All right. Well, we'll put the beef on in a second. But it's interesting when.
Oh, God.
Hold on one second. We give everybody a chance to speak. When you sit here and you look at free agency this offseason, this is a good pitching free agent. See, it really is. There's a lot of good pitchers still available. There is a Cy Young available in Snell. I am very surprised we haven't heard a lot of Blake Snell. I'm surprised.
I think he wants a long-term contract.
He's going to get one.
And but I'm saying,
you know where I think he's going, right?
Teams only want 5 years, only want to go 4 or 5 years. He's looking for that 7 or 8.
You know where he's going, right?
No.
I'm going to tell you where he's going. You ready to hear this?
I think I remember what you said.
He's going to 2 teams. There's 2 teams, and everybody.
I hope he goes to the Pirates.
It's either Texas, because I could see Texas going and spending the money. They've done it for the last 2 years for pitchers.
I don't see that.
And the Boston Red Sox.
I could see Boston giving.
Blake Snell is a Boston Red Sox type of pitcher, and I could see them going after him. He fits. He pitches very well in the American League East.
They need everything.
And if they miss out on Yamamoto,
horrible.
Well. But they have a new GM, and they're willing to spend now. Their old GM wasn't spending, and that was the problem with the Red Sox. Now they're willing to spend, and that was the reason why they actually decided to part ways with the GM.
It fits their pattern. They do it all the time with David Price, Chris Sale, Josh Beckett, Derek Lowe, all those guys. It really fits the pattern. And
he might want
that's why
to
I think
try
they're going to
Chris
get
Sale,
Yamamoto.
but it's not going to make any sense because he's too injured.
And I love.
Well, now I'm just saying 5 years.
No. I'm hearing that they were thinking they're going to consider trading him. But you're not going to get anything.
You're
for
not
him.
going to get any value. No.
You might as well just throw him in your lineup and let him get hurt again.
I love Shane Bieber, and whoever gets an opportunity to maybe make a trade for him.
Good singer.
Oh no, that's Justin Bieber,
same shit.
Not Shane Bieber. I would love to see Shane Bieber. The Yankees should definitely look at that, but you're going to have to give up a lot of prospects for Shane Bieber. He's still under contract. I think he has 2 years.
He has 1 more year left of arbitration.
Right. So he has 1 more year. So
and so does Cease.
So that's this year and next year.
No, it's just next year. He's a free agent after next year.
After this year. So he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
This year. So I don't know if I trade away top prospects for him.
Next year's free agent class for pitchers
it's going to be great.
Is stunning.
Yeah, it's going to
be
great.
And I think that's what the Mets are going to probably wait for.
Well, Frieda's going to be a free agent next year, and I think that's where he's going. I think Frieda's going to the Mets, and that's why Yamamoto.
If he has another bad year, I think they're going to stay away.
Well, is it Fried a left-handed pitcher?
Yes.
And the Mets desperately need one. So I think they go after
I
him.
think the Mets are getting Burns, whether he hits free agency or trade.
I cannot see, and I'm just going to report this: Milwaukee is not going to trade him to their old GM who parted ways with them the way he did. I cannot see that. And by the way, I heard the Cubs are interested in Burns too. That's not happening either.
That's even harder.
That's not happening.
The Cubs actually need the pitching just as much as the Mets do when it comes to depth.
Burns is still under his contract, his rookie contract. So I think he has 2 years left on it.
Yeah.
So they could get a boatload of players back for him. And I could see the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers have a tremendous farm system. The Braves too. If the Braves really want to bring in another pitcher to really solidify their pitching staff, because the Braves, they were as good as any baseball team last year, and for some reason they fell apart in the playoffs.
The Dodgers even more now too with the whole Arias situation, because he's not going to be pitching in MLB probably ever again with the whole domestic violence.
And the Braves have one of the best young pitchers in baseball.
Right.
So
the Braves, I think, are interesting because they were motioning the rumors for Cease because he's from the South area. So I think they're going to end up getting him. And the Braves love to trade for guys low. He had a bad year, so he's not going to get the White Sox are not going to get as much back for him either. Shane Bieber, like you were saying, he probably was not going to get on a down year too. He's not going to get as much back for him. The Cleveland Guardians have been notoriously cheap for years too. And Glasnow is an interesting one because he's always been injury prone, but his peak years have been really good. So I think the Mets, it's interesting where the Mets could take a chance with one of those guys. And
I would take Tyler Glasnow in National League.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I wouldn't mind Cease either because he's a good strikeout guy.
He's been pitching in the American League East, probably the best hitting division in all of baseball.
Right.
So why wouldn't the Mets be interested in Glasnow?
I've always said the Mets.
He's injury prone.
Right. I've always said the Mets should also target more younger pitching too because they really need that badly. And these are all guys too. Now that the Mets have replenished their farm system, that they could all go after at once. And the Braves, are going to drive up the price for the Mets.
Hold on. So now the Mets have they've taken their farm system back, and it's back in order. Now you're going to trade away pieces to bring in players.
See, I'm not.
I wouldn't do that.
No,
especially with a lot of young, especially with a lot of young guys, pitchers.
I wouldn't do
that
it.
are going to be free agents within a year or two. I'm not touching my kids,
even though I don't know what these prospects are.
Correct,
but I would take my chances under baseball where you have control of them for 6 years.
I personally think Acuna is going to be the second baseman.
No, they're not trading Acuna for any pitcher.
No, I'm just saying I think he's going to be the second baseman in 2 years.
Right.
I don't know how good he is. Everybody keeps saying, well, he could be as good as his brother.
I will say this.
They have an outfielder that's really good.
Because Ronald Acuna only has 3 years remaining. I think if his brother stays on the Mets, I think Ronald Acuna will be a Met and play with his brother.
I don't know.
Because the Braves are not paying him $500 million. Who's going to pay Ronald Acuna?
Well, Ronald Acuna, he'll be 30, 31.
No,
yeah,
3 years?
He signed a 10-year deal.
No, I know. No. His 3 years are going to be up. No, I don't know how old he's going to be.
How old
he's
is
only
Ronald
got 3
Acuna?
years left.
He's 25, so in 3 years he'll be 28.
He signed a 10-year deal.
He signed an 8-year deal.
Okay, so it's 3 years.
So this would
he'll
be 3
20.
years left.
He'll be 28, 29 when he's
still good. Still good.
I mean, you're going to give him $500 million.
That's what he's going to get.
It depends on how healthy he is too.
These kids, that's going to be the going rate for a guy like that. If Soto's going to get it, and Ohtani's going to get it, you tell me Acuna's not going to get it?
I like Acuna. I do. I don't see the Braves losing him. I do not, and I think the Braves will find a way to pay him.
And I have a question. This Vladimir Guerrero's kid, whatever the other kid, what position does he play?
Third base. And first base.
He plays mostly first base, but has played third base too.
He plays both.
They also just signed, now that he's gone, but they brought in Chapman's, and Chapman's a great defender. They're not going to take him off of third base.
If the Mets lose Pete Alonso, I could see them going after Vladimir Guerrero
too.
Jr. I could see them do that. He's perfect for the Mets.
Very similar types of players, yeah.
He can hit for power. He hits for average. He's
better
a good
defender
player
too.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I'm not a fan of his game. I don't know why.
Alonso's more consistent. I can see where you're coming from with that, but Vlad's peak years are really
hold on.
good.
More consistent what? For power?
For year to year, like all around, because Vlad was kind of down at the beginning of the year this year. Alonso was bad in the
Who would you
COVID
pay
year.
$300 million?
I think Vlad's a better player.
Okay,
overall.
that's what I'm asking.
I think
that's what he's going to get.
I think in terms of the
Wait,
steadiness
hold on.
and Alonso's
if you want
durable,
to tell me Pete Alonso or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. $300 million, I think I might take Pete. And I don't even and I'm not.
No way.
And I'm not even sold on either one of them.
I would take Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I think,
and we haven't even seen the best of Vladimir.
Yeah,
Guerrero.
that's what I'm thinking. More like
Remember,
more untapped potential.
If you look at
being 23,
if you look at the Blue Jays lineup, when Vladimir Guerrero's,
I don't think Vlad can hit 50 home runs.
100% can. He absolutely can.
He definitely can.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. When he's healthy, everybody else is not.
Right.
They're never fully healthy. The Blue Jays are never fully healthy. And that's a big problem. When Bo Bichette was healthy this year, Vladimir Guerrero wasn't. When Vladimir Guerrero was healthy, Bo Bichette wasn't. They don't protect Vladimir Guerrero. If you put him in that Mets lineup with Lindor and put him between with who's the catcher for the team? Alvarez. You put Alvarez, you put them between. I mean, you're talking about protection right there. Vladimir Guerrero is a great pull ball hitter.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah,
he definitely has more.
He's sensational, man. I would love him.
Alonso's
29, they would never trade him
like
to the
say it.
Yankees. Never in a
No,
million
definitely
years.
not.
Never in a million years. Even if the Yankees gave him the whole farm system. The Yankees. I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The only thing that would teeter me is probably the age factor, but I'm not in love with either one of them. So
I'm not saying you have to be in love because Vlad's had injury issues too. He's had some issues more with strikeouts, just as much as Alonso has.
I like Shane Bieber.
I do
really
too.
love
I do
him.
too.
I really
I wanted
love
Shane
him.
Bieber last year.
I really love him.
I didn't want Verlander.
And the fact that the Guardians are
can we put that cowgirl on the phone now?
Yes, put him through.
All right, Beef.
Put the cowgirl on.
Watch your mouth over there.
What are you gonna do, cowgirl? What are you gonna do? Really? Come on.
I'll come down there and I'll
Come over here. I'll give you a hot dog, something that you like.
Oh
God. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to like to sniff dirty underwear, so you know.
Well, you're the one that's giving him to me.
No, he likes to eat Oreos out of girls' asses. Okay?
Oh,
that's
that's
what he likes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, he does that for a living. Yeah.
What do you want, Woodchucker? What's going on?
What do I want? I think the Mets made a big mistake with Severiano.
You think
Severino, whatever. Yeah,
Severino?
I disagree.
He can't stay healthy, so why?
But
the hell
okay, but
take-
1 year.
Okay, hold on. I was just gonna say, I don't understand why. What's the difference? It's 1 year. He doesn't
Because
do well. He
this is
gets
what the Mets
released.
do. This is what the Mets do. They always go after these washed-up players.
He's not washed
who can't
up.
hack it
30
anymore.
years old. He's not washed
Okay,
up.
I'll tell you this. And I
He's
told
done.
Errol this a long time ago when I first saw him pitch. That dude's got a live arm. So if
I
you
don't
could
think
hunt,
so.
oh my God.
No, this is what the
And
Mets
I
always
actually
do.
told
They
Errol
always
this a
go
long
after
time
these-
ago when I watched when he came up on his first. I said, "Dude's got a live arm. If he learns how to pitch, you might got something there." Now,
I don't
obviously,
think he
so
was
many
until he
things.
hurt himself.
Right? He, he's up and down. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a Met Yankee thing. I really don't give a rat's ass. But the bottom line is this: it's a live arm for 1 year. If he doesn't do well, they release him. It's not like he's not here being a savior. See, that's the problem with a lot of Met
Well,
fans.
no, but
They
that's
have
what-
no
but
clue.
That's what they think is going to happen.
Well,
They can't-
okay,
they
hold
can't
on.
believe
The
that,
majority of Met fans that think he's a savior really should not be a Met fan anymore.
Well, yes, but that's what these Met fans think, and I
you just
don't-
call
So
them.
don't cater to
So,
them.
No. Listen.
I don't want. I don't want them.
Well, listen,
I'd rather
listen.
them not even sign them.
Listen.
I'm going to say this before you say something, Errol. Everybody does a poll, right? And they always say New York is unknowledgeable in sports. I'm really starting to agree.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying from what I hear that people think that this guy's going to.
I mean, the fan bases in New York is so ludicrous.
I disagree.
It drives me crazy.
I disagree. There's certain New York fans that know what they're talking about.
I mean,
and
we
there
got
are
a
some
caller
that
right
don't.
now that's talking about Severino. Thinking, like,
Listen,
who cares?
I'm going to say this.
What do you mean? Who cares?
I'm going.
It's another washed-up player that the Mets freaking
Who-
signed.
okay,
It's
You
ridiculous.
gave him a 1 year, $13 million deal.
I
okay?
could understand you
what they gave him.
complaining if it was 5 years, 60 million, 5 years,
Doesn't
7
matter.
Beef,
I would agree with you. You're talking about 1 year.
Beef, do you know before he hurt his shoulder, he was a top 3 pitcher in the American
I
League?
understand that, but he has not proven to stay healthy.
Oh, I understand that, but maybe going to another team, maybe the
He's
Mets.
not going to.
But first of all, how do you know
I
he's
have an
not going
idea.
to?
I'm going to make you the
Because I just
trainer,
know-
and you're going to
because-
give him hand
because I've
jobs
been
every
through
day.
this before. I've
I
been
don't know
through this
about that.
before. I know what's
Mickey
going to happen.
Callaway might be interested.
I mean, he's
I
going to
know-
have
I
to
know
get a
what's
big
gonna
grip
happen.
on that one.
He's going to wind up getting hurt again, and then this is what's going to happen.
Listen,
So now you're wasting 30.
he didn't get hurt when he came back this year for the Yankees. He was healthy. He just didn't pitch very well.
horrible.
He
was throwing all over the place.
He's 1 year, 13 million.
He
What's
threw
the
100
worst
miles per
case
hour.
Scenario.
Right.
Steve Cohen has given away over 50 million for 2 old pitchers to get him off their
I
team.
know that was a big
You're
mistake,
worried
but
about
I
one
didn't
guy
want
at
any of those
13
guys.
million?
I didn't want any of those guys.
I didn't
either.
either.
I think
I'm
that's a
just saying.
steal. I think that's a steal for Severino. I really
What's the,
do.
okay, here's the worst
It's a
case
steal.
scenario. He stinks, the Mets release him. He does good, they got him for $13 million on
The
1 year.
Mets ain't going anywhere this year anyway. They're not doing it.
Probably not. Probably not.
I didn't know the roster's already finalized and you already made the decision.
No, I
They're
don't
not
think.
going anywhere.
I don't think the Mets are winning anything this year either. And
They're
you've heard Steve Cohen come out, and even though David Stearns came out and said we're going to be competitive this year,
They
and
should-
he's
if they're smart, they should trade Alonso.
hold on one second, Beef. He came out and said at his press conference that they are going all in this year. They're going to spend money. When before he was signed, he was brought in, David Stearns. Steve Cohen came up there with Epler and he said they're not going to go out and just throw away money in the offseason. Now David Stearns, obviously the Mets weren't sure they were getting David Stearns. Now they have David Stearns, and he came out and said that they are opening up their pockets and they will do what they can. And I'll tell you this right now. There's a guy named Hader that is available this offseason. I can see
Hader?
Yes, I think the Mets will absolutely go after him. So. I do, because he's guess who drafted him? David Stearns.
I know that, but I don't see it.
I do. I absolutely do. I can see the Mets. They need bullpen
and
help.
Automatically doing that to Edwin Diaz, who's
and what Diaz is the closer. He'll be the highest paid eighth inning guy. Do you think that Steve Cohen cares how much he would pay?
Doesn't care.
He wouldn't care.
I don't think. I don't think Stearns would do that.
Oh, I think he will. They're first of all, they're very close. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, David Stearns named one of his sons after him, after Josh Hader. Yes. So they're very close, and I could absolutely see it. 100%. I could see it. So it might not happen, but I out of all the guys that we mentioned, I think Josh Hader's a Met. I absolutely do believe it. I think they're sitting in there waiting for all these cards to drop in the Mets.
Well, no, because there's really not that many relievers that are available
he's
on the market.
best. He's one of the best in the league.
And a lot of teams need relievers.
Could you imagine the Mets have Hader and Diaz in their bullpen? I mean,
their bullpen needs
seventh and eighth and ninth inning. Good luck. You're not getting through that. So, and the Mets have been craving something. The Yankees have had that for years. The Mets have never had that. You have Hader and Diaz in the back of your bullpen. Forget it. I mean, they're starting. They don't need Yamamoto. All they have to do is get through the 6 innings, and 7th, 8th, and 9th. Boom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
They can't score. They can't score runs.
Well, the Mets. I do believe the Mets have some good young talent. They will call them up this year. David Stearns will give the young talent some time out there. And I've heard
they're smart. Yes,
they will 100%. It didn't work out with Buck because Buck doesn't like to do that. He doesn't like to play young talent. He likes to play veterans. They bring in
another mistake.
I love the manager that they hired. I love it.
No, not
I love it.
When they hired Buck, that was
no, it was a mistake.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't because it allowed. No, it wasn't because he's actually a really good teacher. He taught the game. It's just that his time runs out pretty quickly. He learns how to get a team to play well together, and then for some apparent reason, it just runs out on him. He doesn't last longer than 2 or 3 years. We've seen it everywhere he goes. Every team that he's taken over for the first time ends up having a winning season, then all of a sudden it dies out. He's a very good teacher. He's just not prolonged for winning.
Well, yeah, they also had a lot of washed-up old players on their team too. So, just saying, they do it all the time. This organization, you know, and I can't.
Nobody says the Mets were smart in terms of going after younger pitching because they need it.
They're never smart.
I will tell you this.
Stupid. The organization is dumb.
Beav, I'll tell you this.
Are you totally upset with this new regime?
I don't know why. I think
the new regime, no, but in the past, I'm just.
Well, that's a different story.
I love the manager they brought in, Carlos Mendoza. Everybody was questioning why the Mets brought him in. And I'm going to say this right now. David Stearns was never interested in bringing Craig Counsell. I'm telling you right now, he was not interested in him.
But
it was always Carlos Mendoza. Everybody keeps saying, well, he was the second guy or the third guy.
You know who I wanted?
What?
I wanted Mark DeRosa.
Oh, I love Mark DeRosa. Speedy will tell
I
you.
was going after it. I actually wanted the USA team to be the coaches.
I
wanted DeRosa. I wanted Griffey. I wanted everybody here.
I will say this, and Griffey is actually a photographer now.
It's kind of fun.
So is Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
I think he's taking pictures of the beef as we speak.
Yeah, okay.
He works with the Seattle Seahawks, and he takes pictures at the games.
The only mistake Cohen made was bringing in Verlander and Scherzer. That was the big mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. It was a try. It was a try.
I thought it was a mistake.
It was a
yeah, but
once you get Scherzer, there was no point in doubling up on Verlander.
Well, the point was it was a try to change the aspect of the franchise. That's what it was. That you brought in top 2 guys and you were willing to spend.
Yeah, but there was no reason. There was no reason to spend that money on.
I want to ask you a question. If they pitched really well and lights out, nobody would be questioning it. No one would be questioning it.
But I knew they weren't. So.
Okay, but that's not the point. If they would have pitched lights out and they would have won, nobody would be questioning it. Because they did win the year before, right? Wait, hold on. Before Scherzer, with only Scherzer, they won the year before. So they added Verlander and try.
Well, he didn't win. He was terrible.
I know that, but I'm just saying they gave it a shot. It didn't work. But you know what? He has so much money, he didn't care of paying the rest off. That is a good thing. You gave it a shot. It didn't work. You move on.
I would have never give that a shot. Nope.
I think
if you had the money, you probably would have. Because
I wouldn't have.
They were the best free agents available. at that time.
I don't care. They're old.
You
I
don't
would have
care.
never done it.
Listen.
I'm smarter.
I wouldn't have done it either. I really wouldn't. And Mike has his own opinion, and he
No,
took.
I'm not-
if you're a
whatever,
Met
that's-
fan, you take a chance. Maybe you
fine,
get
but I
lucky.
would've never
Maybe
took
you
that
get
chance
lucky.
with
But
Scherzer didn't want to come here,
Oh,
but because
man.
it was the most money, the Players Association said you got to take it because you're setting the new boundaries.
I wanted so bad to get the Nationals
2 years
broadcaster
with an
on this
option.
show. I really wanted her on this show. What's her name again?
Britt Giroli.
It's so funny because when Max Scherzer went to the Mets, she came on the show and she was yelling at me, telling me, "You don't know what you're talking about. I know Max. Max is absolutely going to have a great career with the New York Mets. Those 3 years, the Met fans are going to love him." And I said, the guy is washed up. He's not the same pitcher. He will fail as a New York Met. I said, every old pitcher that goes to the Mets,
yes, they
fails.
fail. Yes, correct.
And she says, "You don't know what you're talking about." And she practically was yelling at me. I said, in a year's time,
call her up.
And she won't come on the show.
We've tried.
She will not come on the show because she knows.
What's her name?
I will attack
Britt
her.
Giroli. She now works for The Athletic.
She
What's her
knows.
What?
What's her name?
Britt Giroli.
I'm gonna look her up.
Brittany
I'm gonna
Giroli. It's Britt.
I'm gonna get that bitch up here.
You're a disgusting person.
She's married with a kid.
Yes.
I don't really care.
I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
we know
not-
you don't.
She is attractive. I can't lie.
I really don't give a shit about that either.
Yeah, we
you do.
know.
Yeah, you do. You lie. You're the one who has all these Playboy models reaching out to you on Twitter. You little liar. He's he's such a liar.
All right, so now we know that Mikey C won't speak for the rest of the show. He's just gonna look her up.
Oh man! Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. If
Never
you know
a dull moment.
I know this guy. He's lying to you if he tells you he doesn't care if she's pretty. He knows damn well if she's hot. His eyes are going boing.
I don't know about that.
Boing.
I don't know about that.
Where's the Oreo cookies?
I think Beef's holding him in his hands right now.
Where's the milk?
Beef,
Yeah,
how
the
you been?
coleslaw and the Oreo cookies.
Listen, you got to come out, man. I haven't seen you in a while. So I think the last time I saw you was at the Met game.
Yeah, you with your
Wow,
son,
you saw
yeah.
each other?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I took my little guy to the Met game. He was like right there.
Yeah.
He's like, Mike, you see him?
Was he
I'm like,
wearing a
"Yeah."
Derek Jeter shirt?
No,
Oh,
he was wearing a wife beater
Oh.
and short shorts.
Well, maybe you should hang out with Vaughn.
That was 2 years ago.
Just kidding.
Was it 2 years
Just
ago? I
kidding.
thought it was last year.
No,
it was last year. Was it? Was it 2 years ago?
I didn't go to a game this season.
Wow.
It
Yeah,
was
you're a
last
horrible fan.
Well, because they suck, and I didn't want to see that garbage out on the field.
Suck, bro! I paid $25 a ticket. You tell me you can't feel the $25 a ticket?
No, I get paid.
You're a horrible fan. At least I was going there making fun of the team.
I went to 3 games, and I'm not even a Met fan.
Hey, Beef, don't worry. At least you're not Lyle. He's a season ticket holder for the Islanders.
I will say this.
Yeah, in that stupid section.
I will say this.
In the 300s, like I would never sit up there
When I go to City Field, I love it.
and sing those dumb
I think
songs.
it's
Whoa! and
I
shoot
am a
with Barry-
Yankee. I'm a
They
Yankee
should all
fan.
shoot themselves in that section.
I'm a Yankee fan. I like Yankee Stadium, but there's something about City Field that I absolutely enjoy. First of all, the tickets are so good when you get closer to the
It's
field.
friendlier, too.
I love it. It's family. The food's just as good or better. And to me, I'm not a Met fan, but I just enjoy going to Met games more than Yankee games. And I'm a Yankee fan. So I know Yankee fans will probably shoot me for saying that, but it's the truth. This year, I went to 3 Met games and 2 Yankee games. Okay. I went to more Met games than Yankee games. And because I enjoy going to Met games more than Yankee games, not because I'm a Met fan, just because I just like the crowd. I think it's more family oriented. With the Yankee fans, they want to rip your head off. You know, they're just like, oh, and I'm like, shut the hell up, man. Eat your hamburger and shut up.
I feel like it's too much walking. at
Stuff it
Yankee
down your
Stadium.
throat.
Every time I've gone there, I'm like, why am I walking so much just to go to like something?
Really? There's different
funny,
floors.
yeah.
I think it's the same as City Field.
No, yeah,
No,
I
City
think it
Field's
is.
much
No.
easier.
No, I think it's the same. I mean, when it came, I will say that City Field has better ice cream.
Why, they don't have Carvel?
It's horrible. Oh no, it was horrible.
I know the Mets have
We were
Carvel.
looking. Me and Brittany were looking for ice cream, and we found this ice cream place, and oh, this is good. This is good yogurt and all this other. I tasted it. I wanted to throw up. And then I let her taste it. She's like, "What? We spent $10 for this?" I was like, "It tasted like ass." Okay, it really was disgusting. So I'd advise any Yankee fan not to buy ice cream at Yankee Stadium. So there you go. There's my.
I advise any Yankee fan don't go to games.
Why?
Because it sucks.
No, it doesn't. Yankee Stadium is not as bad as you make it seem. It doesn't. I don't like it. I'll tell you this. I love going into the bleachers because they're great seats. They really are. But the bleacher creatures are crazy, man. They're nuts. They're booing Soto. And I was telling them, the Yankee fans, I was sitting there right next to the guys. They were like throwing things. They actually threw 2 of these guys out because they were throwing things on the field at Soto. And I'm like,
is that what me and you went or no?
No. And it was this year. And we were sitting there and I was yelling at the guys before they got thrown out. I said, you do realize he probably is going to be a Yankee and you're throwing things at him. Oh, he's not a Yankee now, so he stinks. I was like, you stink. Get the hell out of here. That's what I said. I say
maybe the Red Sox will trade for all the Guardians players.
Brittany kept telling me to shush. There was like six guys standing there, just like shush. It's just one of you. I was like, one of you and a fist for all of them. So and they could fist it anyways.
The Red Sox will deliberately trade for all the Guardians players that were getting annoyed at all the Yankee fans last year.
Oh God, man, it was horrible.
Stephen Kwan revenge tour.
Now listen, I'm not saying the Yankee fans are the best. I'm not saying the Met fans are the best. I'm just telling you, if I were to go to one or the other stadium, I'd go to Citi Field over Yankee Stadium. That's not taking shots at my team. I think the Yankees have a better team, a better roster. But to me, when I look at the stadium, I want to enjoy watching a game. I want to sit there and enjoy my seat. Yankee Stadium, all the seats are bunched together, not bleachers. That's why I sit in the bleachers, because it gives me a little bit of room. If you're sitting in those seats, they're so snug. You can't even move. Your elbows are touching the next person. I hate it. That's why I sit in the bleachers. I hate it. Beav, you have anything to say before we let you go?
Dak Prescott sucks.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. That's
wait,
wrong.
hold on. I know he sucks, but why does he suck?
He does
Especially
not
you're a
suck.
fan.
He does not suck.
He sucks because he can't see the field and he can't be.
You're out of your mind. He does not suck. And right now, he's the MVP voting leader.
He can stick that thing up his ass.
He shouldn't be.
Oh, yes, he should.
No, he shouldn't.
Oh, yes, he should.
No, he shouldn't.
Oh, yes, he should.
No.
We went over that yesterday. I don't want to get into that. Thank you, Beav.
But that's it. Talk to you guys later.
We love you, Beav. Chia. Remember that commercial? I like that.
You're still hating on Dak Prescott.
Everybody hates on him. That's okay. He's a Cowboys quarterback. Everybody's going to hate on the Cowboys quarterback. It doesn't even matter. Remember Tony Romo? Everybody called him Tony Homo. Remember that?
Yeah.
And now that's Jeff.
Yeah, this is Jeff.
All right, hold
Jeff,
on.
you have a
Hold on. I want to get into our stories right here.
Okay.
All right, just put him through. Let's hear it.
All right, Jeff, you only have a little bit of time because our betting guys are going to come on soon.
Yeah, that's fine. I got to get to my bets too and check on them.
That's all you do is bet, bro. It's like you got to chill out, man.
I love the bet.
You're gonna lose your shirt. You probably already did. But
I'm not losing. I'm having a good week. Hit a big one today.
Yeah, he is.
Having a great time. But Mike DC, it's great to see you. I wanted to know your opinion because those other guys, I'm not going to get an unbiased opinion from because they defend scumbag New Yorkers.
Okay.
I want to know your opinion on piece of shit defenseman Jacob Trouba only getting a $5,000 fine for two-handing a player in the head.
He should have been suspended longer than $5,000 fine.
Yeah, exactly. But piece of shit New Yorkers don't say nothing. They all cried when stupid Panarin got dropped on his mullet for trying to fight Tom Wilson and they wanted suspensions. But every mouth-breathing New Yorker.
First of all, hold on 1 second, Jeff. I never said that he shouldn't be suspended. You never asked me. That's one. Number two, Mikey C is a New Yorker, you idiot.
I know that you defend scumbag New Yorkers.
No, I do not.
Oh, Yankee fans are great. They throw things at everyone. You just said you were sitting next to people throwing.
Is he listening to the show? Is he lost? Is he lost? There's something wrong with you, man. What are you eating today? What's going into that brain of yours? Is there a chemical reaction?
If people are defending that he shouldn't have been suspended, don't know the sport of hockey. Because that was literally legally two hands with the stick,
it was
full force. Right, exactly. Yeah. Anything to the head immediately should be suspended the way the rules are today.
Like Charlie McAvoy just got suspended for the Bruins 4 games.
Correct. Right.
This was like a month ago. And I have no problem with, I'm not defending it. I have no problem with him being suspended. That hit to the head, it was a dumb play. He should have been suspended. But how does the league look at Charlie McAvoy making that hit and then watch headhunter Jacob Trouba, by the way, because he's got.
He's known to be a headhunter. That's why he gets himself into trouble. But the only difference is, here's the difference.
Wilson's
George
worse than him.
George Parros is horrible at his job. That's really the bottom line. That's the reason why a lot of people have problems with the NHLs because it's not consistent on their calls for penalties or suspensions and fines. It's totally ridiculous to where a lot of people favor that, maybe it may sway certain ways because of favoritism. It's a joke. Listen, until Gary Bettman leaves and George Parros leaves, and obviously better guys actually stick
I
to the
think Gary
guns.
Bettman's done a good job.
He's done a good job on expanding the sport,
100%.
but without a
He's
doubt.
done a
But
terrible job expanding the thing because if they're thinking about putting the new expansion franchise back in Atlanta, which it's failed twice, or in
well, that I
Houston,
agree.
which
I don't think it
failed
should go back to Atlanta either. I agree on that. From that factor, but also, he's made it more global to where now they're having global series or whatever the case is.
100%.
Yeah, but it was
But the
always
bottom,
global.
no, I know that, but they're making it
guys
more and more. It's just now. I mean, I hate to say this, but we have more diverse players that are now playing today. You know what I'm saying? You got athletes that are so diverse.
I don't
today.
think so. I think it's always been the same. There's always been every team has a Finn, a Swede, a Russian. A bunch of Germans are in the league. I think it's always been that way. So like, I can't say that he's
Well,
grown
from the
game.
future, no, I think he's growing the game.
Hockey is the most diverse sport right now in America. It absolutely
I know,
is.
it's 99% white, so diverse.
Again, you're looking.
It's right, 99% white on the factor that the other countries that it's spread Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland. It's a different story, but the bottom line is you got a lot more people that are getting more engaged now. That when inner city kids are now starting to play, which was the hardest market to even break into.
I just don't see it taking off that way. Only because
Takes time.
of
Rome wasn't built in a day.
I realize they're trying. They tried before when roller hockey was big in the late '90s and things like that. They tried to do what was the beach series?
The beach series, yes, roller beach, and it was.
They did a bunch of other things to try to grow it. The game's so cost prohibitive that they can donate some equipment to inner city kids all they want. That line is going to eventually dry up anyways, because once that first wave of equipment runs out, there's no more donations, and then they stop playing. It's so expensive to play.
No question that it
without
is.
a doubt.
Ice time, yeah, it's
one of the
very
most expensive sports to play.
It is the most
and the
expensive.
time consuming for it because you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for 6 o'clock
training.
practice.
Yeah, if you're training, you're trying to be great.
I was doing 2 a.m. practices. It was terrible.
Early. You got to get up
doing,
early.
Running around the block.
No, he played hockey. He played hockey.
Literally, when I was a kid, I would get home from school and I would go to bed at like 4:30, and then I would have to wake up at like 9 to eat dinner, do homework, and then go to practice to try to go back home and like sleep for like an hour and a half, and then have to go to school.
No, what I had to do at 4 o'clock in the morning, I would have 2 hour ice time. After 2 hours, I'd take a shower at the ice rink and go right to go right to school and do it again that night.
Great, you're lucky then because you had a later time. We didn't.
Yeah. Well, you were from Boston, that's why.
Dude, there's not a ton of ice rinks for the amount of teams that are up there. It's hard to get ice.
I got it. Jeff, thank you for calling, bud.
But I'm glad that you have that opinion, Mikey, because most shitty New Yorkers,
all right, I'm done. This is what he always does. He can't be normal. What is wrong with these guys?
Are we taking a break?
Yeah, we're going to a quick break. We're going right to a quick break. When we come back, let's parlay with Wes and Derek here on the Sports Loudmouth.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is the Sports Loudmouth.
bringing it back, baby. Bringing it back for Wes and Derek. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Errol Marks. My co-host, Speedy Petey. We have special guest Mikey P in the studio. All you have to do to check out all our shows throughout the week is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including The Loudmouth, which airs every single Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and see our local listings of our shows is go to www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for all the handicappers out there, for all the craziness, and these guys are the best in the business, we call this topic and segment Let's Parlay.
Parlay, ole, ole, ole. It's time for Let's Parlay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Worldwide Wes and Mr. Mountaineer. I was going to say Derek the Mountaineer, but I think it's Mr. Mountaineer, Mr. Derek Mountain. What's up, boys?
Not too much. How's it going?
Oh, well, I'm good. And how about you, Wes? Are you lost over there? There's no.
Wes is still recovering from the
There's
Ohio
no Canadian
State.
flag back there. What happened to the Canadian flag?
Well, CFL's over, and I rolled it up and put it away. I'm in my dining room, and so my wife wasn't really thrilled with the Canadian flag taking the place of modeling pictures of hers from years ago.
You know what you should get is a nice green screen, and then you can put anything you want back there, and you can take it right off the wall.
Wes, you need to get a green screen and then put a Kansas City Chiefs logo.
No,
behind it.
please
So
don't do
Errol.
that. Please don't do that.
Send me one. If one of you picks it out, I'll send you my Amex numbers. Just send me the one. I don't know how to work these things.
I'll set you up with a green screen.
Send me a link.
I'll send it to you.
Feels like a tax deduction at this point. I could use a couple of
Derek,
those.
it's so funny when you look at Derek's back screen. It's like blurry. It looks like a window. I don't know what it is, but it's actually pretty cool. I mean, I guess he made it that way, but that's pretty cool.
I
I've never
did.
seen it. Yeah, okay.
That helps Jeff's theory of you living in Atlantis or whatever it was he was saying.
Yes, exactly.
Jeff is out of his damn mind, man. He really is. All right, boys, you know the deal. You get your first 3 picks, and then you get your final pick, which is your parlay picks. You guys ready? All right.
Sure.
Wes, you are first. Give us your first pick.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start with. This is not gonna surprise you guys, but I'm going to the Bama Georgia game. It's the biggest game of the weekend, in my opinion. And I'm on Bama. I'm doing a half a unit on the points, and I'm doing a half a unit on the money line. And I said it last week. Every single hoops wager and NFL wager I place is going to have penny size of a unit on Bama to win the entire thing. I believe that Bama is going to beat Georgia outright. I think that that's going to put them in a spot to win the entire thing. We've seen this movie before with Bama, but just looking at some of these past games, I want to provide reasoning, right? Like my opinion. It's not going to convince people to run to the sports book, but I look at the best defensive teams that both Bama and Georgia have faced. I think Missouri is probably the best challenge that Georgia faced. That game was down to the wire. I mean, Mizzou could have had that game, probably entering the fourth quarter. I mean, they really tested them, and that was a pretty small margin. You got to throw Auburn out the window. That's a rivalry game. I mean, Georgia didn't do very well against Georgia Tech. I mean, that game was closer. I think both these teams had their eyes set on one another. But when you look at Bama, you kind of got to look at the A&M game. And there was a point when Bama looked like they were going to have their way. They made some mistakes, but that's what drove it. Georgia just simply had trouble against Mizzou. It sounds like Bowers is not going to be on the field. It sounds like he's going to have some surgery to protect his long-term health. But again, what Jalen Milroe is doing for Bama, I think Bama's going to run the ball. I don't think that what they did at Auburn is at all what they're going to look like against Georgia. So Bama is my long-term future play. You guys, you know my record on futures and the tap thing and everything else. So
unbelievable.
I'm going to take the 6 points. It's 5.5. It's 6.5. It just depends on how you shop it around. I don't think the points are necessary. I'm doing it as an insurance. Roll Tide.
There we go. Wes's first pick. And by the way, you were 3-1 last week, and Derek, you were 2-2. So you guys both were over 500. So that's what you expect if you're a betting man. If you're looking at a handicapper, you want to be over 500. And both guys were over 500 last week. Derek, give us your first pick.
I'm going to go to NFL. All four of mine are NFL. I'm starting off with a player prop over. Deontay Johnson over 47.5 yards. I think this has sneaky shootout potential, which I think before the year you would have said you're crazy. And now this is a Steelers team with new life without Matt Canada. It's almost a stat. We've all heard it, but it feels like it's made up. In the 44 games that he was not the OC, they didn't top 400 yards. In the game before he was hired, they had 400 yards. And the first game after he was fired, which was last week, they topped 400 yards. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And look, I think that the one thing they unlocked last week that they just didn't do with Canada was utilize the middle of the field. And last week, you see Kenny Pickett's pass chart, and it's all between the hashes stuff. And Freiermuth had over 100 yards last week, and I think the two guys that are benefited from this move are Freiermuth and Deontay Johnson. I know the social media clips going out of Johnson kind of loafing on a run play, and he's walking up to the ball, and there's a fumble that goes right by him, and he's kind of sulking. And it's a Steelers receiver. I mean, we saw it with Pickens in that Thursday night game against Tennessee. I don't know what it is, but he's a receiver. I'm not going to read too much into it. Like I think Twitter people are. They're kind of doing their little diagnosis. He had 8 targets. He had 50 yards last week. He's still a big part of this offense. He goes against an Arizona team that gives up a lot underneath. They play zone at a top 5 rate in the NFL. Johnson is the zone guy. Pickens is their man guy. Johnson is their zone beater. So over 47.5 yards, Deontay Johnson.
All right, Wes, give us your second pick.
So this one is a little uncharacteristic for me at this time of the year, but I'm looking at UConn and KU basketball. And I'm actually going to take the under on this game. It's at 147.5, and I think it's probably going to be at 148. The reason I say it is, KU, living in Kansas City, they're kind of the pro basketball team. Even if we had an NBA team, I think it would still be all about the Jayhawks. But I'm looking at the matchup this season where they actually played a team that could defend. And the result of that game was under 130 points. UConn, I don't think they've seen a team that could defend. But when I look at these teams statistically, the fouls committed and then their free throw percentage, I don't think we're going to see a lot of extra points from the line. So I think that it's going to be tight. I think that if you're on the over or the under, you're going to be biting your nails in the last 2 minutes of this game. But I see this as a 74, 72, 73, 71, 71, 70, that kind of game. So I'm taking the under on KU and UConn. I think they're both going to rough each other up. This is going to be a great matchup. At this point of the season, I'm looking at this as the best hoops matchup we've seen in NCAA.
Oh, really? Interesting. Very interesting. March Madness is a couple months away. I'm looking forward to it. This year, it's again wide open, and there are 2, maybe 3 really good teams in the nation, but I think it's going to be wide open. And usually those 3 teams get eliminated in the Sweet 16.
I can't wait for Arizona to be the number 1 overall seed and lose to a 16 seed.
There's teams that are not ranked right now that are going to find their way into the ranking
100%.
that have some opportunity ahead of them. And then there's the no-namers, right? There's the Arrow Marks Tech that we're going to find in a tournament.
That would be a good
Notice
team.
those are Rito Johnny's best plays for the college basketball season.
Oh, all right. Derek, give us your second pick.
All right, I'm going to stick in the player prop market. I'm going with an under. I'm going with Tyler Higbee, under 27.5 receiving yards this Sunday against the Browns. When you see a number this low, you get a little scared, especially when you're taking under. But Higbee's not an explosive target at this point in his career. He got 30 yards last week. He had 5 targets, caught all of them, fell in the end zone twice. I don't see that playing out this week against a really stingy Cleveland defense. As we all know, they're the best defense by DVOA against tight ends. With Kyron Williams back in the lineup, he's probably, I would argue, fifth in the pecking order of their passing weapons. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp, obviously, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, and Tutu Atwell. I would say he's a distant fifth. He has topped this number twice in his last 7 games.
Wow.
So this is a little bit of a bizarre line to me, but I think it's being pushed up off his production from last week, which is fine. I think we should be taking advantage of this number. They're a 3.5-point favorite. So it's not even one of these games where we're expecting the Rams to chase. They're going to throw the ball 40 times. That's probably not going to happen here. I mean, they're probably playing against a Joe Flacco-led Browns team. So I'm expecting a sloppy, low-scoring game. Kyron Williams back in the mix. They're going to run the ball a lot more. He's going to be a bigger part of the passing game for them. Tyler Higbee under 27.5 receiving yards.
You don't like Flack? Come on, man. Come on.
I like
man.
Flacco, but come on. What are we expecting on Sunday?
I don't expect anything from the old man.
No.
I mean, seriously.
No.
But if they sneak into the playoffs, I mean, Flacco is.
Yeah, I still think it's a game you can win, and
playoffs.
they have 7 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some distance here in the wild card race.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, Mr. West, give us your third.
All right, we're gonna go back to college hoops, or I'm sorry, college basketball, and I'm gonna ride FSU. I called them out last week. That was one of my dubs from last week, and I think Rodemaker. I'm
a Florida State guy, so.
Well, he did his job. He did not make mistakes. I mean, there were no turnovers, there were no fumbles, there were no interceptions. But I think that what they left on the table was Keon Coleman was silent. He had 1 reception for 24 yards. That's arguably the best player for Florida State with an injured QB1. Benson showed up. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to run the ball a little bit against Louisville. Although Louisville's got a good defense, but at 1.5, this is a gift for Florida State. I mean, it's a cute argument to say that Louisville's going to win. Florida State doesn't have their quarterback. Let's look at statistically. Florida State's defense is one of the best in the country, and I know that they've played an ACC schedule, which you have to take that into consideration. The ACC is not really lighting it up as far as offense goes, but this FSU defense is real. They're drafting or they're recruiting at the same level as the SEC on the defensive side of the ball. Benson's going to show up. I think they're going to get Keon Coleman the ball at least to get him over 100 yards or more touches than 1 reception last week. Rodemaker has proven he's not going to make mistakes. 1.5 points. Like I don't bet multi-units. But this is tempting. I mean, this is juicy. This is like I put up a juice box logo to my members on the Discord page.
Are you talking about kicking and screaming? The juice box man? Yeah, we'll call him the juice box man. There we go. All right, Derek, give us your third pick.
I'm going with another under. I am going with Zach Moss under 75.5 rushing yards. This one feels pretty lofty. I know he's the RB1 now. Jonathan Taylor's out for a couple weeks here. And Zach Moss has played great when he's been in there. When he started the first month of the year, he was really efficient. In kind of that change of pace role now, he has been more efficient and a better yards per carry than Jonathan Taylor. That Colts O-line has had a little bit of a resurgence this year, but 75.5 against a Titans run D that I have been really high on this year. We took advantage of some unders earlier this year. They've fallen off from that early season form, but part of their numbers are skewed because Sierra Tart, their nose tackle, missed about a month of action. He's back in the lineup. They're still top 10 in rushing EPA, rushing success rate for run defense. 75.5. I mean, he's not a burner either. So I'm not expecting Zach Moss to break off any 30 or 40 yard runs in this game. I think he's going to need 17, 18 carries to hit this number, which I'm not sure he's going to get. So I'm going to go with the under here, under 75.5.
All right, Wes, give us your final pick of the night.
I'm going to the NFL, and I am going to take the 3.5 or 4 points, depending on where you find it. And I'm taking the Denver Broncos. They have 15 turnovers over the last 4 games. And I realize you can look at that a lot of different ways, but I mean, that's not a mistake. I mean, that's not an accident. They're doing a lot of things right on defense. But at the same time, I got to go to last game, and they hung 29 points on the Cleveland Browns. Anybody that watches football will tell you the Cleveland Browns is a dangerous defense, and it's hard to score points on them, and Denver hung 29 on them. So, and you got to look at the quarterbacks also. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Now, Allen can be a turnover machine, but you put those two together, and they were a part of that 15 turnovers over the last 4 games. CJ Stroud, I mean, my shirt says Ohio. I love you. I love your show. I'm a longtime listener, but I just think the points are too many. And Sean Payton is the better coach in this scenario. And Denver, top to bottom, has a better roster. They've had a better roster for the last couple of years. It's just a matter of getting the right coach to push the right buttons. Russell Wilson is having a good season.
Fantastic, yeah.
We'd be stupid to say MVP, but
No.
I mean, but nobody's gonna. No, I mean, at this point, somebody needs to step up and take that MVP. The kind of season Russell Wilson is having, why not? I was half tempted to give out the Panthers play, because my rule is when you fire your coach, you bet that team the following week. But this Panthers coach firing is a head scratcher. It's a real WTF. I think that the players like that coach. And in that scenario, that's just a scary one. So I'm going to take Denver, and I'm going to take the dog, and I'm going to take the points. And
You don't like Olsen? Come on, man. He wants the job. Maybe they hire Greg Olsen, another player's coach. That makes no sense.
And it's sad for Bryce Young. I don't think he was ever going to be a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback. His size, coming from Bama, there's just a lot going on there. But the dude is a victim now. He doesn't even have a fighting chance. He's going to have another coach. And the coach they just fired was probably his best chance at
100%. Yep. Made no sense. I had a whole monologue on that yesterday. I have no idea what the Carolina, but again, they hired Rule and then they fire him, and they're still paying. Well, they were paying him until he gets a big, huge contract from Arkansas, right? It was Arkansas, Nebraska. I'm sorry, one of those guys, one of those places.
That Rule firing, I was emotional over it, because I believe that his style does have value in the NFL, and he was cut short. That is a team that needed to be built, but different thing. The Rule firing was not an Urban Meyer type firing that wasn't going to translate to the NFL. Rule had a chance, but nonetheless, I'm taking Denver. I'm taking 3.5. Take 4, whatever you can find. Denver's got a shot here.
Seal it, baby. All right, Derek, give us your final pick.
My last pick breaks my heart a little bit, but I'm laying 3 points. I'm going with Niners -3 at Philly.
Interesting.
Look, I just think there's a horrible situational spot for the Eagles. I really do. 3rd game in 13 days. I mean, 2 emotional wins. Beating Patrick Mahomes down 17-7 at half. They come back, win that game. Short week. They play Josh Allen. They're losing the entire game. They were outplayed. They win 37-34 in overtime. Jake Elliott hits probably one of the 5 best field goals you're ever going to see in your life in the rain, wind, 59 yards. They scrape by, win that game. Defense was on the field for 92 plays. They are limping into this game. Lane Johnson doesn't play last week. It looks like he's going to play, but he has groin soreness. Dallas Goedert, game time decision. Fletcher Cox probably not playing in this one. Milton Williams not playing in this one. Zach Cunningham not playing in this one. Like,
wow.
The 49ers going into this are as healthy as they've been. 8-0 with Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel in the lineup. And in terms of a psychological edge, I just think everything's in favor of the Niners. They've had this game circled after last year. I mean, whether you want to agree or disagree, coming off of last year, they really feel they were slighted when Purdy got hurt and Josh Johnson got hurt, and then they had to, kind of weather the storm with injured Brock Purdy the rest of the game to finish off the NFC Championship. And in terms of the 1 seed, the Niners have to win this game if they have any chance of the 1 seed. The Eagles have given themselves some breathing room going 4-0 at the start of this gauntlet. I think the Niners have blowout potential in this one.
No way.
But
I don't think that's
I really think they do. but I'm not saying they will. I think there's
Eagles are
potential
banged
there,
up.
but
There's some
they're very
questionable
banged up.
roster.
I think this could just be a situational, a schedule loss, which is fine. But even if it's close, I mean, third game in 13 days, and you're playing three of the best offenses. I know the Chiefs aren't what they've been in years past, but you're still playing Mahomes and Kelsey on a Monday night. Josh Allen last week went absolutely nuclear against them, and now you got to play a machine in this 49ers offense. It's just really, really tough for this Eagles team. I think probably going to take their lumps in this game, the way I see it, and then they just regroup and they go all in on Dallas next week. That's the way I see it. So I am going to lay the 3 points, -3 points with the 49ers.
All right, before we wrap up, Reno Johnny also has a couple picks as well that he sent. He has tonight the Cowboys covering the -9.5. And then in college Pac-12 championship game, he's got Washington covering +10. UNLV money line, they're playing against Boise State +120, and then the Georgia Alabama game he has over 54.5 as well. And Carl has some comments for our fellow Ohio State fan. He says OHNO, and taking shots at Derek too. What type of bizarre is even having the line on a Higbee sort of player? And he thinks Moss will have 78 yards.
Well, what I'll say to our friend Carl is, I am happy that my Buckeyes are going to be in a scenario to win the last game of the year. Because it looks like we're probably going to play Louisville in a.
I agree too. I think Ohio State,
and it's hard. You go 11-1. Like, it is such a brutal sport that 11-1 feels like failing. It just, and I'm going to wait another year because none of the regular season games are going to matter because we don't really play that Oregon. I think we play USC, but not Oregon. But it's so hard to walk off the field, or for me, walk into the bedroom drunk and take a cold shower.
Well, tell your wife that.
Wes, I'm curious. What's your opinion on Ryan Day? Because the way I've seen Ohio State fans talk about that guy, they think that guy is like Lincoln Riley levels bad. Not that Lincoln Riley, he's terrible.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same way. God, Wes.
Yeah, I have passionate, strong opinions about Ryan Day, and I the easy answer is, what is your plan B if you decided to fire him? And then we have a recent example of Jim Harbaugh, and Harbaugh was under fire because he couldn't beat the Buckeyes. And that's
what 0-4 to start, right?
That's what the rivalry is all about. But when you look at the recruiting, Ryan Day is recruiting at a higher level than Urban Meyer. Like, he is. He can't win this game. Ryan Day has, I think, 6 losses in his tenure at Ohio State, and 3 of them came in the playoffs. One of them was in a natty. So in 5 years of coaching, he's taken them to a natty. He's been in 3 playoffs. I really like Ryan Day, and I listened to him talk. I went to a skull session at Ohio State, and he's a powerful speaker. I mean, he has the ability to bring the room to tears, but you look at some of the players that they're putting in the NFL. I mean, he recruited Marvin Harrison Jr. He recruited CJ Stroud. So, and Travion Henderson was injured for a good portion of the season, but if he was playing at the level he closed the season out with, we might be talking about him in a Heisman type light. So I like Ryan Day. I would take him over Urban Meyer all day, every day. Urban Meyer had that random choke game in the middle of the season. I will never forget.
Ryan Day's never lost to a Big Ten opponent other than Michigan. I think he's like 44-0 against a Big Ten other than Michigan. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, it's to fire him would be.
They're not firing him.
But the conversation.
No, only Ohio State fans on Twitter think he's getting fired. It's ridiculous. And one team wins a championship.
Let's be honest. Who's beating Michigan? Like Bama, Georgia? Maybe you can throw Ole Miss, LSU. I mean, Oregon. But I mean, there's a very small list of people that are beating Michigan. Harbaugh is one of the best coaches on the planet, NFL or college.
He'll be coaching Vegas next year. I promise you that.
But wherever he is. So I like Ryan Day. I support him. I used to call Urban Meyer St. Urban. But I would take Ryan Day over Urban Meyer, and I don't know what the alternative is. You're going to promote one of his coordinators? I don't. Is Hartline going to take over? I just don't see the other option. And you're going to fire a coach that has only lost 6 games in 5 years, 3 of which are in the playoffs. There's teams that would love to get into the playoffs. So,
I mean, I feel like this stuff takes time. You said Harbaugh, Kirby Smart lost his first 4 against Nick Saban. Dabo didn't win until year 4, I think, at Clemson, and he was like kind of under fire when he was an interim coach, and then he got the permanent tag his first year. He wasn't setting the world on fire. I mean, especially in college, this stuff takes time. Michigan is no longer led by Brady Hoke and Rich Rod. You know what I mean? That's not a gimme win every year like it used to be. And this was supposed to be Michigan's year. They have a bunch of 4th and 5th year seniors. Ohio State's still young. My only critique of Ryan Day as a game day coach is he's really conservative on 4th downs and high leverage stuff, which I think with his playmakers is a little bizarre the last few years in big games. And then this year, I'm kind of shocked he just rolled into the year with Kyle McCord as quarterback. I think at Ohio State, he could have went in the portal and done better. Like a guy like Sam Hartman.
There's something happening, and I don't know if it's in his sales pitch or in the quarterback room, but he's not having great success there. We lost Dylan Raiola in the recruiting to Georgia. I'm excited to see Air Nolan next year. I think that he has next CJ Stroud. They just upgraded him to a 5-star from a 4-star, and he's a dual threat. But they lost Raiola in the recruiting process. We had Quinn Ewers transfer on Ryan Day's watch, which, God, what a mistake that looks like at this point. So there's something happening there, and we don't have and again, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I love Travion Henderson, but we don't have Ezekiel Elliott, generational type college running back talent to where we can be slacking at the quarterback spot. But Ryan Day has got NFL pedigree. If something happened to him, he is a sneaky candidate to take over an NFL team. He's
100%
to the NFL.
I think he will. I think he will get an NFL job. But boys, we got to let you go. We got a guest coming on. We love you guys. Keep up the good work. We'll see you next week.
Always be cash.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, Derek and Wes, let's parlay. When we come back, finally, after a year and a half, he's hiding under the covers. He's hiding in Carolina. He's no longer a Green Bay writer. But who knows what he is going to say when we get him on the show. We will be talking to Summerville Journal Scene news editor, Ralph Mancini, here on the Sports Loudmouth.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is the Sports Loudmouth.
631-672-3108 is the number to call. You are listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Speedy PD, special guest, Mikey C. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including the Loudmouth, which airs every single Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to check out our local listings is go to www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Shout out to Tommy, our social media guy. He's going to be our New York Minute guy over the next couple of weeks. We'll have him doing our minutes, what do we call it? Our sports minutes. And he's going to be doing our sports minutes. He's doing such a great job on social media. He's great talent, and we're looking forward to having him on for many, many months to come. So anyways, our very special guest, our first guest of the show, A lack of time since he's been on the show, but he has a lot to get into when it comes to the NFL, as he's been our Green Bay guy over the last couple of years. We are now talking to Summerville Journal Scene news editor, Ralph Mancini. Ralph, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, fellas. It's been a long time. It's been a while. I think last time I spoke to you guys, I was freezing my tuchus off in North Dakota. Now I'm in sunny South Carolina. So quite a bit has changed. And quite a bit has changed for the Green Bay Packers as well over these past couple of years. So I don't know what you guys want to talk about. You know, I'm game for anything that relates to the NFL.
Ralph, it looks like you're in a box. It looks like you're in a closet, man. Is this a closet that you just moved into?
Well, this is the part of the apartment that has the most lighting. So I just positioned myself in a way where, you know, you're able to see my face clearly. So, yeah.
I can see you, Ralph. I see you loud and clear, man. I hear you. I see you. I mean, I don't need binoculars, my friend.
Ralph, do you see us?
Oh, I see you guys. Yeah, my vision is perfect.
Don't worry. We have a guy that lives in the South. And sometimes when he comes on our show, his house is completely dark, and that's our friend Mark Kelly, who lives in Alabama.
Oh boy, oh, man, Mark likes to be in like. And then last night we interviewed Brandon Barnes. He was in a car.
Oh yeah.
I was like, Brandon, I can't see you.
One of our fans, Carl, also says you combed your hair for the interview.
That's right, you did. It looks good, man. All right, so why don't we get into it? Aaron Rodgers. There are obviously the Jets opened it up for practice. He is in a 21-day window. It makes no sense. I don't know why the Jets are planning. I understand that if the Jets are a playoff contender, they want that he could come back and be the savior. He's not going to be the savior. The Jets are not beating Atlanta. They're not beating Houston. I don't know why this is going on. Now, I understand the whole situation is Aaron Rodgers wants to be the first guy to come back within like 4 months or 3 months of tearing his Achilles, while everybody thinks it was fake when it wasn't. What are your thoughts about the Jets bringing back Aaron Rodgers?
Well, from Aaron Rodgers' perspective, I think maybe in a way he feels guilty about the whole way the season turned out, with him going down the fourth play of the season. And basically from that point forward, the Jets had no hope of, forget about winning the Super Bowl, even making the playoffs. And so I think maybe in a way deep down, he feels like he owes it to the Jets. He owes it to the fans to at least, you know, make a concerted effort to get himself ready and maybe play, you know, 1 or 2 games or whatever it is. But I think, you know, the Jets front office has to step in and finally just tell this guy no. I mean, ever since they acquired him, it's like they've been moving heaven and earth to satisfy, to appease Aaron Rodgers. You know, at this point, at this stage of the game, the season's over. You know, I know some guys on defense are really ticked off, but that's too bad. You got to think of Aaron's future, short-term future anyway. The guy's 40 years old. I wouldn't even make him practice. You know, his arm is still great. I saw him throw the ball. From that aspect, yeah, once he gets his lower body healthy, he should be raring to go. But it's just too much too soon. So somebody's going to have to finally tell Aaron Rodgers no. It seems like ever since he got here, or got to New York, I should say, he's been getting his way. You know, they brought in his guys, they brought in his coach. And, you know, at this point, they just got to say, hey, you know, shut it down, heal up, and let's get ready for next year.
By the way, happy birthday to Aaron Rodgers, where he just turned 40. So happy birthday. I know on the Pat McAfee show, they were celebrating and they had a cake for him and everything, singing happy birthday. I mean, if he came on the show, I'd be singing happy birthday to him. I bet you I get more information out than Pat McAfee. He sits there with a spoon up his ass. I don't know. But anyways, speak good.
So Aaron Rodgers might be getting another birthday present this offseason, and that could be his guy, Devontae Adams. There was rumors that the Jets were very close to him getting him at the trade deadline. The Raiders, all the dysfunction they've gone to. Do you think it's realistic?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's realistic. I think, you know, the Raiders, they traded a first-round pick to get him for a reason. They want to see him there for a few years. And really, you know, Devontae, to no fault of his own, you know, hasn't really paid grand dividends to this point. And so, if I'm the Raiders front office, I want to see this investment through. I don't think he's going to get moved. But again, here come the Jets. Trying to put Aaron's friends around him, his old buddies. And, to me, this formula
doesn't like the Jets.
this formula doesn't work, guys. Come on. When has it ever worked? Joe Douglas, he's got to grow a pair. He's got to tell him, listen, I'm running the team here. You do the quarterbacking. I do the GMing. Okay. So I just think that it's a rudderless ship over there out in New Jersey.
Well, I beg to differ. Devontae Adams has done a lot for the 2 years that he's been over there. 14 touchdowns, 1,500 yards last year. This year has 814. He has no quarterback, by the way. He has this guy O'Connell. I've never even heard of this guy. He's their starting quarterback.
And you still will take him over Zach
Well,
Wilson.
I mean, he has 4 touchdowns and 814 yards. I mean, he's having a good year.
I was referring more sort of this year. I mean, a guy of his talent, he should be having 1,500 yards.
Who's throwing him the ball? I mean, seriously.
But that's why you asked me, do the Raiders want to trade him? I don't think they do, because I think that they know the guy's still somewhat in his prime, or maybe at the very end of his prime. I think he's still got maybe a couple of more years of good football in him, and so I wouldn't want to trade him now. Not when he's got at least another 1,500 yard season in him, I think, anyway.
We are talking to Summerville Journal Scene news editor Ralph Mancini. Ralph, you look at the NFL, and there's a lot of questions with some of the craziness that's gone on this year. And one of the biggest, craziest things I've seen this year, last year was an all offensive year. You see Patrick Mahomes throw 50 touchdowns. You see all these quarterbacks throwing the ball, running the ball all over. And then all of a sudden this year, you're seeing the dominance of the defense. What do you believe is going on right now in the NFL?
I believe some of these rules that they put in, to keep guys healthy, minimizing practice time, minimizing what they do in the off season. I think that has an impact on the season, especially the early part of the season. The first 4, 5, 6 games, I think you see a lot of teams that are going through the motions. And then not until probably week 8, week 9, in the middle of the season, you see these offenses take off, like the Dallas Cowboys, not until probably the midway point of the season did they really start flourishing as a unit, as a team. I think that, as I said, a lot of these rules that they put in to preserve the players, I think it's backfired on a lot of these, on the NFL in general, I should say.
So the big offseason of quarterback contracts too, and some of them have been impactful, like Lamar Jackson, who's been an MVP candidate, but some have been hurting teams. Not to the fault of the quarterback, but Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, their teams now not going to probably make the playoffs. So what are your thoughts on all these quarterback contracts?
You forgot the shitty one of Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, and that one.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, they all, it all differs, right? I mean, Justin Herbert, he deserves everything he gets. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, I think sometimes I think the ownership is to blame there. I think, when they look at Daniel Jones, they look at him as like a son. They look at him as somebody who reminds them of Eli Manning, at least, the way he looks and everything. But I just think that, sometimes teams, because of where they draft a certain player, they think that they're obligated to give him, a 5-year, a 10-year contract with, $100, $200, $300 million, crazy amounts of money. And so a lot of these guys are unproven. And so like, for instance, I like what the Packers did with Jordan Love. They essentially told him, hey, we're going to give you, a reasonable amount of money. We're not going to give you a big contract. We're going to make you prove yourself before we're going to give you, that big, life-changing contract, if you will. So it's case to case with Daniel Jones. It was a total disaster, and they're married to him. They're married to him for next year too.
Oh, that's bad. I don't think that's bad, because if they draft a quarterback, and I do believe that's what they're going to do still, even if they draft at 6,
you would hope.
I do believe that they need the quarterback to sit behind Daniel Jones for at least a year so he can learn the offense. It would be the smartest move for the New York Giants not to just throw him in there like the Jets have done with Zach Wilson and pretty much feed him to the wolves. And it doesn't make sense.
You know, you see that all the time, right? We always predict, well, you know, this guy's a little raw. This guy was drafted. He only has, 15 starts in college, and we're going to sit him down for a year or two. But how often does that happen? You know, when you take a guy in the first round, you know, when that quarterback, when that placeholder starts having a couple of bad games, the fans start saying, oh, put in the rookie, put him in. Let's see what he can do, you know, and there's a lot of pressure from the media, a lot of pressure from the fans. And so I think, yeah, the Giants can draft somebody, but, you know, to think that that guy's going to sit on the bench for a year or two, that's rare.
A year.
That's very rare.
I understand that, but that's the way. And to go to the quarterback position right now, we're talking about MVPs. And Dak Prescott right now he has the numbers, and that's what they look at. I don't care what anybody says. If Dak makes the playoffs and he has the best numbers out of all of them, right now Hurts is the lead for Vegas right now. I disagree. Hurts has not been the best quarterback in the NFL this year. In the last, I would say the last 6 weeks, it's definitely been Dak Prescott. Do you believe that if Dak keeps this up, is he the MVP right now of the league?
I think it's too early to say. I think that if the Cowboys go on a run, and they've been on a run lately, I think if they beat Philadelphia, because they still have another game left with them, I think that will go a long way in determining who the MVP is going to be. So it's to be continued. But right now, And look, I wasn't a Jalen Hurts fan when he came out of college.
I love him.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I didn't think he had any accuracy. But the guy's proven me wrong. You know, the guy's really come a long way. And I think right now, because that team always finds a way to win, and a big reason is because of Jalen Hurts. You know, like everybody in the stadium knows they're going to run that quarterback draw or that tush push, whatever you want to call it, and they still can't stop him. So until the Cowboys actually beat Philadelphia, I think right now, Jalen Hurts is the odds-on favorite to be the MVP. But I'm rooting for Dak because I'm not a Philly fan, so I hope Dak does win the MVP.
And here's the thing: Jalen Hurts should have won the MVP last year if he didn't get hurt. Jalen Hurts is the MVP last year. No question that he was on his way to win the MVP. He gets hurt the last three games at the end of the season. He missed a big game against the Cowboys, and they lost, and that affected him winning, and they gave it to Patrick Mahomes. He had a great year too. I'm not saying that he didn't, but Jalen Hurts really surprised everybody. And this year, he's having a good he's not having the season he had last year. I mean, Dak right now, going into the season, everybody was taking shots at him. He throws too many interceptions. He had 15 interceptions last year. He swore that he wasn't going to throw more. He was going to throw less than 10 interceptions. Right now, he has the least, for the amount of games he's played and the amount of snaps that he's had, he's thrown the least amount of interceptions this year. Right now, by the way, congratulations to Dak Prescott. He just pregnated his girlfriend, his new girlfriend. Congratulations, he's having his first kid. So I listen, I've stuck up for Dak Prescott. He deserves all the credit, what he's done this year. And that has a lot to do with McCarthy taking over the play calling. I never liked Kellen Moore. The guy stinks. Look what he's doing for Justin Herbert this year. By the way, and everybody keeps saying, oh, Justin Herbert. Kellen Moore's ruined Justin Herbert.
Oh, can't wait for Kellen Moore to become their next head coach.
Oh, please. I mean, they need to get rid of that guy as quick as possible. Bill Belichick should be, if he gets fired or he gets let go he should take that job because he would flourish with Justin Herbert right now. He's the perfect fit for the type of Bill Belichick offense he likes to run.
Yeah, I also think, talking about the Chargers, I don't think Eckler's playing at 100%. I think that's another big reason why. Well, and their defense, of course, but and they depend way too much on Keenan Allen. Mike Williams going down early in the season really hurt that team. He was their one real legitimate deep threat. So, but yeah, they're going to have to start from scratch. They're going to have to get rid of that coaching staff in LA with the Chargers.
You should have did that last year.
By the way, if we're talking about MVPs. Do we necessarily, and I know the tradition has been, you got to go with the quarterback, right? But what about Tyreek Hill? Has there been a player?
Well, that's who I think should win it.
Yeah, is that has there been a player that had a bigger impact on their team than Tyreek Hill?
Well, I first of all, Christian McCaffrey's having an unbelievable season right now.
I'll
I
give
mean,
you that.
That whole team is really, really
yeah,
good.
but
overall.
even when he
The
stayed
Miami Dolphins are not really good overall.
I think they're good.
Kind of takes them over the
Dude,
hill.
their coach is fantastic. I don't know
He's
if you're
creative.
watching. Are you watching Hard Knocks? I mean,
No,
the guy,
no,
the guy's a freak.
I
I
don't watch
mean,
that
he's
coverage.
a weird person. When you if you sat in a room and had a conversation with this guy,
he's creative.
Creative, no question, a genius. But he's talking about how smelly his right sock is to his left. I mean, what are you?
But I
seriously
think without
gonna sit
Tyreek
here
Hill, the Dolphins
and-
are not the same team.
I mean, guy's a weirdo. I mean, but he's a genius, and you're right. But I like their offense. Their offense is fast. Mostert, a chain. He's fantastic. They have the weapons. Miami's dangerous. I'm telling you right now. Their defense is a lot better with Jalen Ramsey in it. If they can get that defense healthy, they're a scary team. They have weapons on the outside, the inside, the long side, anywhere you put it, or wherever you slice it, you dice it. I'm telling you right now, Kansas City is not going to the Super Bowl this year. You could book that. I'm telling you right now.
I hope you're right.
Feel it. It's never going to happen. Dude, they don't have anything. They have Travis Kelce. You saw what the Eagles did in the second half of that game. They shut him down. He had the touchdown on the 5 or 6 yard line, but they kept him to a distance. Travis Kelce, that's what you do. You stop Travis Kelce, you stop Kansas City's offense. Their defense is good. Spagnuolo's going to get a job in the offseason. I think he's been fantastic. They found some good young players defensively in the draft over the last couple of years. I give him a lot of credit. And Andy Reid is a genius. They're not winning this year.
Yeah, and you're right about Kelce. You know, he just hasn't been the same player, I don't think. I don't know if it's the off-field distractions with Taylor Swift, but, you know, he's fumbling the ball more than he used to. He's not having, like, those big, huge games as he did before.
He's having a good year. Travis
he's having
Kelce.
an okay year. I mean, for Travis Kelce. For Travis
1,000 yards. He's on his way to get 1,000 yards. He's doing everything. But right now, I'm going to look at Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay. That game against Philadelphia, him fumbling the ball, him dropping passes.
I mean,
you know?
Philadelphia's secondary is fantastic. It's a good secondary.
Oh, no, they got a great defense.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt about it. I think unless they really establish a 1B player to Kelce in the passing game, and it looks like this kid Rashee Rice, he's got some speed, he's got some explosiveness to him. If they can establish him as a legitimate threat, they might have a chance to go all the way.
There's 6 games left. Travis Kelce has 732 yards. His yards per game is 73 this year, 78 last year. He has 5 touchdowns this year, 12 touchdowns last year. He's going to have 10 touchdowns this year, and he's going to have probably 1,200. It's right where his mark is. How many tight ends do you know, Mr. Ralph Mancini, that's had what? Now it's going to be 9 straight seasons with 1,000 or more yards. I mean,
I mean, from a statistical standpoint, I mean, what he's done is unprecedented for the tight end position.
100%.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I've seen him in a few games this year where I don't know if his head was there. But whatever the case,
I'll tell you where his head is, but I don't want to do it on live radio.
Whatever the case, they rely on that guy way too much.
100%.
And unless they can get this kid Rashee Rice more involved in the offense, they're not going anywhere. I agree with you.
All right, before I answer my question, Carl, Mike McDaniel is not trash. All right, now we got that out of the way.
I can't wait until Mike McDaniels takes this team into the playoffs and surprised that he's going to knock off a big team. Baltimore or Kansas City is going to be knocked off by Miami. You mark it. Book it today. They're going to beat one of those teams, and I don't want to hear it from anybody else that Mike McDaniels is not a good coach. That guy, I'm telling you right now, this guy is a genius.
I think a lot's going to predicate on Waddle because I think Waddle's playing injured right now.
Yeah,
he's still having a good year.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't at first. He's picked up the last couple of weeks, but Waddle is the integral part because if they double or triple cover Tyreek Hill, Waddle is that other speedster that will get over.
Those running backs, man, are beastly.
But I don't think they should play A-Chain until the playoffs. Let him rest up.
Oh my God, that kid is so fast. You want to talk about Tyreek Hill, how fast he is?
He should be the MVP. I'm sorry. I agree.
A chain, I believe. The
I
way
think
I
it
watch
should
him
be Hill
run,
and then
could beat him in a
McCaffrey.
race. I think he could.
I think the two quarterbacks really are not having that.
They
good
have
of a year.
so much speed, man.
Well, they have like 4 different running backs that could do damage on that team.
Scary fast, man.
Between Mostert and Jeff Wilson and A-Chain and Salvon Ahmed, all of these guys, from 1 week to the next, all of these guys can get it done for that team. It's just an outstanding running game, and the coach should get a lot of credit for that.
Oh, I think he's coach of the year. Honestly, if you want to argue, I think he's coach of the year. If they get into the playoffs and they win that division, the AFC East, he's absolutely the coach of the year. I don't care what anybody says or what this guy's done and that guy's done and what the Eagles have done and what San Francisco has with Kyle Shanahan, who I think is so overrated. I think the coach of the year is Mike McDaniels. And I don't care what anybody has to say about
even over the Houston guys.
100%.
That's having a surprise season.
Here's the thing:
with a rookie QB.
Houston's not winning the division. The Jaguars are winning the division. I'm going to give it to the guy that nobody thought Miami was going to win the division. They were not expected to win the division. Buffalo was, and some people
possibly
thought,
with the Jets.
Yes, if they had Aaron Rodgers, they thought they were the 3rd team in that division. Miami's going to win the division by far. I think they're going to win it by 3 games. So Mike McDaniels has changed the offensive style of game. You could see the difference of the game and the way they run the ball. I think they're so explosive. They're the most explosive team.
I think Dable wins it again.
The only thing he's going to win is the biggest red face of the season, because I think he's seen more of his face turning red this year than I've ever seen Dable as an offensive coordinator and as a coach. So I think sometimes he looks like he's about to take a crap on the sidelines. He's so angry. So,
hey, I'll give you a dark horse coach of the year if they make the playoffs, which is
Robert Saleh.
Right now. Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen.
Robert Saleh.
I like it.
Oh, by the way, Steve Weich told me that Robert Saleh should be a part of the coach of the year voting. Steve, where are you?
I was kidding.
Steve, no, Steve Weich.
I mean, no,
do you know who Steve Weich is?
Yeah, but I was kidding.
I mean, he's the head, he's the head guy for the NFL Network. He was on our show and he told me. Then he took shots. I said, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. He says, well, what did he say? Who did he say? Matthew Stafford
was more
has a better chance of being a Hall of Fame. I said, what are you on drugs? I mean, we went on yesterday. We were talking about it. I went through every single quarterback statistic, practically every single quarterback statistic except running. Phillip Rivers is in the top 10. Every single one of them. He's not a Hall of Famer. What are you, nuts? Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. I can't wait until he's inducted to the Hall of Fame. He already owes me. He's going to owe me a dinner. And I'm going to tell you, Steve, I want to go to the best steakhouse possible. You and your wife are taking me, baby. You and your wife are taking me. But I love Steve.
I like what you said, though, Ralph, with Shane Steichen for the Colts, though. If they get into the playoffs like a 9-win team with a backup quarterback most of the year, that's got to be
and a quarterback who's not nearly as mobile as the guy he had in there at the beginning of the season in Richardson. So
you
it shows you how the guy can adapt, and make chicken salad out of chicken scratch.
So. I like chicken salad. I mean, I like tuna salad better. I mean, I'm sure Nick Pollack likes chicken salad too. Hey, listen, here in Long Island, I don't know if anybody's eaten the chicken salad and tuna salad here. It's the best in the world. There's no doubt. Even the bagels. I mean, it's just the water. It's the taste. I mean, listen, you're living in Carolina. I mean, I've had their bagels.
We got a lot of New Yorkers here too.
Oh,
we got a lot of good restaurants here
stop
too.
it.
They're the only ones that couldn't take it here. That's the
well, they take it in different ways.
Real New Yorkers stay.
Oh, Ralph, we love you, man. Keep up the good work, man. I'm happy to see you, man. You look healthy. Good for you.
Thank you. Having a great time out here.
Out of the closet, man. You look like you're stuck in a closet.
Get more into the light.
Yeah, I gotta find a bigger apartment, guys. Maybe when I talk to you next year, I'll be sitting in the lap of luxury. So.
It won't be a year and a half. I promise you. This is his fault. Okay. We've turned into a show where we're interviewing Hall of Famers. Everybody wants to come on our show now. We really appreciate everybody coming on the show. We have a lot of fun.
Except for Jimmy Smith, who ditched us twice.
I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm Jimmy, and I don't know if you're listening to this right now. Jimmy, I know you play for the Carolina Panthers. I know you never won a Super Bowl. It's okay, man. It's okay. If you want me to send you a trophy or something that you won, I'll send you a trophy, man. You weren't even the best player. You weren't even the best wide receiver on your team, buddy. So I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. I'm just being honest. And it was the Jaguars, by the way.
Yeah.
I forgot that. But
With all the 10 Jaguars we've had on the show, we still can't get him on.
I'm just kidding. Jimmy.
Jimmy's a borderline Hall of Famer. You take
He's
a
not
look at
going
his
to the Hall of
numbers.
He's not going to.
Probably not, but look at his numbers, though.
Yeah, they're good numbers. Yeah. 7 years. He to me, he was a 4-time Pro Bowler. I like Jimmy. And by the way,
he was a good player.
I met Jimmy at the Super Bowl.
But he wasn't
was
a
there.
great player. That's the difference.
I just don't understand why he tells us he's going to come on, and then all of a sudden, he at the last minute, he doesn't. He disappears off the fence.
And then he messes us on Friday.
I'm like, dude, where the hell are you? What are you hiding under your rug or something? I mean, seriously. I mean, we'll send you Mikey C. We'll send you some Oreos.
Oh, he doesn't want nothing to do
We'll
with me.
send you some Oreos. Mikey,
I don't
likes
think
them.
he can handle me.
Well, I don't know.
Not many people can.
What are you talking about now?
Just in general.
Okay, I don't want to get into the Oreo.
I'll just leave it at that.
I don't want to get Nick or even Ralph sickened from what you do, man. You are one of the worst when it comes to women.
Oh, I agree.
Anyways, Ralph, we love you. Thank you for
All right,
coming.
Errol. Thanks, Speedy, guys. Thanks for everything, and have a great night.
Ralph Mancini, ladies and gentlemen, the Summerville Journal Scene news editor. He's fantastic. Great personality. When we come back for the first time on our show, this guy's got over 50,000 followers on his Twitter, baby. That's right. He's a famous and very well-known writer. He knows his stuff. He knows his baseball, and he is going to be on the show for the first time in his complete life. We will be talking to founder of Pitchers List, Nick Pollack, here on the Sports Loudmouth.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is the Sports Loudmouth.
Do it, 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 do it. Speedy, are you going to do it tonight?
No.
Do you know what doing it is?
No, but ask Mikey C. He might do it.
Mike knows what to do. I don't know if
Mikey
you know what
C
to do.
knows what to do. Let him do it.
He knows. He's got the Oreos. He's ready to go. Some milk and some chocolate. Melt in your mouth, not in your hands. Or in his case, melt in your ass, not in your hands. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. You are listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Errol Marks. My co-host, Speedy Petey. My special guest, our special guest, and my friend and my partner for many, many years, Mikey C, is in the studio. He wanted to cause a little bit of trouble tonight, and he's done enough of it. But thank you for joining us. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including The Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to check out our local listings is go to www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I know everybody knows who this guy is. I know who he is. I read a couple of things, from him. And this guy's a smart baseball writer, and we're very happy to have him on. We are now talking to founder of the Pitchers List, Nick Pollack. Nick, what's up, bud?
What is happening? How you guys doing tonight?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. You got a great radio voice. You have a soundproof studio, man. I mean, it's beautiful. And it's
That's what happened when you have a rent-stabilized apartment in Brooklyn. Okay, you can do things like this.
And you got some glow sticks. I like it.
Hold on with Nicky. You're from New York, and you haven't
Born and raised here, man.
You haven't come to our studio. You haven't come.
I haven't been invited. What's going on?
Oh well, listen. Now you're going to be invited. So
Where in Brooklyn?
Park Slope.
Okay.
I know where Park Slope is. I actually I went to school off of Coney Island Avenue.
Get out of here. Where
Yes,
about?
I did. Right off of Avenue U. So
nice.
it was all boys school. Got kicked out of public school. You know?
See, that tells it all right there.
Oh, what can I say?
We just found out something that tells everyone
First
all
of all,
story.
first of all, right across the street was an all-girls school. Shut your mouth, you idiot.
Maybe you thought it was an all-girls school.
It was an all-girls school. Don't stop it, Mike. I'm not the one shoving Oreos up somebody's ass. Okay, please. Anyways, Nick, we're very happy to have you on, and you've done so many good things when it comes to baseball, and you wrote a book. And tell us a little bit about what started you when it came to baseball. What made you become a writer for baseball?
I had a job that allowed me to do anything I wanted at home part-time. So I used to pitch in college. I was a travel baseball coach. I gave pitching lessons and everything. I came up with an idea because I'm a giant nerd of making a gift database for every single pitch in the majors. So you can actually look up Scherzer's fastball, DeGrom's slider, all that kind of stuff, and actually see it back in 2014. And then I just enjoyed writing about pitching because this is the only thing in the sport I care about. And I've been doing that for 10 years now because I've had all these incredible people on staff help me out.
When you're done.
What's that? What do you got?
Is Michael King a Cy Young candidate?
No.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that he was.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Well, hold on.
This is it? Is that it? Is that the only thing you want to ask the entire time? I got it. No worries.
Nick,
doesn't mean he's not good.
Nick, when the Yankees brought him in as a starter, was he not good? Was he not good?
Of course he was good. Yeah.
Okay. And this is my argument right now. You look at Juan Soto, okay? And obviously the Yankees are in talks for Juan Soto. Would you trade away Dominguez and Michael King and maybe another pitching prospect when you're renting him? Would you do that?
Not a chance.
There you go. Here's another guy, and this is a baseball mind, baby. He agrees with me. Mikey, take your Oreos and shove it up your ass.
Maybe Nick.
Why would we give away these like major prospects that are going to be part of the organization for a while for 1 year of Soto? I love Soto. I think he's great. Look at the trade last year that the Nationals did with Soto and the prospects that you just named. Dominguez, are you joking? Who will return in 2024? Because remember, Tommy John for a hitter completely different than it is for a pitcher. You can come back quicker.
Also, he's coming back. The Yankees were saying.
And yeah, he's still absurdly young. They call him the Martian for a reason. Now that he got Tommy John, he's nothing now. No, we still have all these years of control of him, and of course Michael King as well. No, that is not the deal we make for 1 year of a rental of Juan Soto. Not a chance.
You should work in the Yankees analytics department. They've been
I know the people there.
Well, maybe we need to hook you up. I mean,
they're not making that deal. I don't know where you would hear that they're doing that. They're not.
Well, first of all, here's the thing, and I understand why everybody sits here and they love Juan Soto. He's a great hitter, and he's done wonders as a young player in the playoffs. He wins an MVP, wins a World Series. Good for him. Okay, and his numbers are fantastic, and he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. We have seen this before. The Yankees have made moves like this before, and it's failed. Why would you give now? I'm not saying those prospects were any good when the Yankees traded them because they usually aren't. But Dominguez is a different guy. Michael King, people forget this guy was one of the best relief pitchers in baseball. They moved him into the rotation, and he has a 2.75. Tell me this: how many pitchers this year were pitching under 3 as a starting pitcher? Answer that question.
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. Because,
I know. I'm not talking about
I'm
you.
going to tell you right now, my whole shtick is talking about the actual quality of pitchers, and I'm not going to use ERA as a way to say what the quality pitcher they are. That said, Michael King's great, fantastic slider. The way they uses both his sinker and his fastball, or his four-seamer, is perfect. Is how you should do it. He also has a changeup that when it kicks in is amazing as well. And we've also seen, look, born and raised a Yankee fan because I want to be happy in life growing up in Brooklyn. I'm so sorry for you guys over there with the City Field behind you, but that's not my life, okay?
I'm a Yankee fan too, buddy. I'm a Yankee fan too.
And what I see is, well, we've had a history of moving guys who were so good in the pen to the rotation and it not working out. We know the first shirt I ever bought myself was Jabba Chamberlain, okay? It's not always to guarantee the transition, right? With King, it does look like it should work. the Yankees need that right now. I mean, obviously you have Cole. I actually am a believer in both Cortez and Rodon for the year ahead. I think we're just completely reacting to one season of injuries and just acting like that's it forever. And that's not the case.
I love you. And I told all the Yankee fans, buddy. I have told all the Yankee fans. I'm sorry to cut you off. I know.
No, go ahead.
You are fantastic. I love you. And I'm going to read even more stuff by you because me and you are pals now. Because I have been telling people Carlos Rodon was not healthy this year. He was never healthy. He had an obligation because he got a big contract to come back this year and to prove himself. He did not. He was a shell of himself. This guy is one of the best power left-handed hit pitchers in baseball, and everybody forgets that. His fastball is the best in baseball. It was the best in baseball for 3 years. So, and now all of a sudden everybody says, oh, he stinks. It was a bad contract. I mean, the Yankees got to deal with him.
One of the other guys on our network was calling him Carl Pavano.
Ooh. I mean, look, it's still to be said, right? I'm not going to throw away, of course, all of last year because that is evidence of like, hey, he tried to come back. His fastball was worse. It was only good for the 2 starts when he was at 96 miles per hour with it, and then dropped down to 94. That is a little bit worrisome. He also has back issues, not just the shoulder. But yeah, as you said, 2 years of just dominating with that 4-seamer, finally showing up with velocity once again. That really should repeat, and hopefully he does have a healthy offseason and looks good. I'm not ready to just give up and say this is the worst contract that Cashman has ever made. I mean, Ellsbury for me is still just haunting me. But as far as Cortez go, I think people forget that just because he was throwing 92 or something, oh, it's not a bad fastball. No, that's actually a phenomenal fastball for what it does. We've seen lower velocity 4-seamers act like his does and have success for a long time. That should happen with Cortez. So I like our rotation right now. If we add like Yamamoto, oh my gosh, then we're amazing. And that's going to be everything that we want that to be. Then you can deal Clark Schmidt away. I think that's perfect. I don't actually see Clark Schmidt as a long-term a guy for inside this rotation. I think he overperformed a little bit last year. He's someone that really relies on a cutter, slider, curve, and the fastball is not really that good. And he started to throw less of that sinker, but there really isn't enough, I think, in those secondaries to really be an exceptional starter. So he's fine in the majors. Send him off to San Diego. They need something now. Sounds good. We get Soto for that. I don't want to deal away Torres necessarily. We need offense. We can't get rid of like our most consistent bat right now. So we need him for this year to stay competitive. Deal Peraza, someone else, we clearly don't care about him for whatever reason. So fine, let someone else actually do something with him. This is like the old, what is it? Clint Frazier Andujar thing. He's like Schmidt and Peraza now, right? And that's it. Cool. Maybe Cabrera in there too. I mean, hopefully we get something out of this, but I have to think that the Yankees are going to get this done without Dominguez and without King, really, without Volpe, without Torres being involved. So I'm looking forward to seeing it happen. I know it will. No worries.
So there are a lot of pitchers on the trade market recently too. We've heard Dylan Cease, we've heard Shane Bieber. Any of them in your advanced metrics or any other free agents that are still available worth signing at the value that
So when I say like advanced metrics and all that kind of stuff, it's actually all stuff that you guys already talk about. We just have a number for it. Like when I say like his fastball is really good, like this, it's because his fastball misses bats upstairs or something like that. We just have all these fancy numbers to say like, oh no, it's because it has just this much induced vertical break or something. You're like, shut it off, Nick. Don't say that ever again. Right? Like it's all it's saying is it's just that it stays up longer. It looks like it's going to drop and it doesn't. That's good, right? It's going to miss bats. So the guy that actually I think should be dealt, and I'd be surprised if we don't really see a team be aggressive this offseason, is Mitch Keller with the Pirates. The Pirates are not going to have a good rotation this year. I mean, can you guys name the number 2 starter in the Pirates right now? Do you know who that is? Who is it?
Oh, Yohan Oviedo, I guess.
King Tommy John.
Oh, he's out. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
No one knows. So there's no way. Like, why would you hold on to Keller? He's going to be a free agent in 2 years. This is half of his value left is just wasting away in Pittsburgh. It's going to be like Musgrove and Cole before he's going to get dealt to somewhere else and knows how to take advantage of his really good rising fastball, really good cutter as well. Amazing sweeper. I think the Yankees would kill to have someone like that in the rotation. Like, there it is. Mitch Keller is the guy you want to trade for. And the Yankees and the Pirates have a fantastic history trading between them. So I think that's the one. Do not go after Dylan Cease. He has one good pitch, and that's a slider. And even that kind of let him down last year. He has never been a guy that's consistent with his command. Even in 2022, Dylan Cease was good for like 2.5 months. And then the rest of the season, he had like a 22, 23% strikeout rate, not the 30, 35% that you know, right? And that whole season gets clumped in with that, of course, that first couple months. So, and Shane Bieber's going down, not up. So,
really?
Oh yeah, no, he's lost velocity on his fastball, his slider, and his curveball. The things that you think about with Shane Bieber, we generally say like 25% strikeout rate is where you get like a strikeout in an inning. Okay. And that's where you get like your 200 strikeout guys, or the guys that go 200 innings or something like that. That's what he did in 2022. Last year, Shane Bieber had a 20% strikeout rate. That's like the same as Kyle Hendricks. Actually, Kyle Hendricks had it higher last year. Okay. Like that is not good. That is not the Shane Bieber, slider and curveball don't miss bats anymore. Fastball is getting worse. It's getting crushed more. Like, don't go after them. It's not it.
All right, so he just sold me. I don't want Shane Bieber.
Get him out of here.
You're just trying to trade him to the Mets.
The Mets would do a trade like that. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
Probably would. We are talking to the founder of the Pitchers List, Nick Pollack. Nick, you're a Yankee fan, and there's a lot of questions right now. Who's going to take over for Brian Cashman? Win, lose, or draw this year, Brian Cashman's out. I do not believe. I do not believe he's coming back. Because I see the Yankees moving towards elsewhere, and I don't know. I'm just making a prediction here, and if I'm right, bro,
I haven't done this yet. I am amazed. I'm so amazed. Like we got to direct our vitriol somewhere. We're upset. I get this.
I'm not upset. I want to keep Brian Cashman.
I mean, I'm upset. I don't know. I've been in this business now for a decade, and I have not seen the Yankees in the World Series. I mean, I want that in my life, right? I can actually like do things now, and I can't enjoy this. All right. This is not the life I grew up with. We were supposed to be the one that's the most hated. How dare the Astros become the most hated team? Now that's supposed to be us. Okay.
They didn't cheat yet. So
right. Why are we cheating? No. But seriously, to me, here's the craziest thing to me. And Zach Britton actually mentioned this, and I thought this was fantastic. Look at how much we failed last year, right? We had Judge hurt. We had Cortez hurt. We had Rodon hurt. We did not put together an offense that was good. We screwed up with Rizzo in such a big way. We did so many things wrong. Domingo Germán is a horrible human. Like all of this stuff. And we still were a winning ball club. We still had a winning record.
I agree.
I mean, do you know how many teams would love to have an organization that refuses to have losing records? No team is as consistent as we are. And it's not because we have the highest payroll. We don't. It's not because we have the greatest analytics department. We actually don't. It's because we have Cashman at the top of it. And what I think the actual problem is, higher than him is Hal, who he just won't spend the contracts they used to, which drives me nuts. We have to be that team. It's New York. We have to be those guys. And the other aspect is that the communication between Cashman and to the players is not good. And something that I do a lot and I think is so important is, again, as I was talking about before, about like what makes a guy good, advanced metrics, all this kind of stuff. These words have terrible, it's like a taboo almost. I say analytics. What does that mean, right? Or advanced metrics. Oh, what are the things that you're going to tell me that I should care about that I don't care about, right? I get that. In actuality, it's just more information. David Cohn talks about this all the time. It's not like this little thing, whatever, that we're supposed to care about. It's like, no, just tell me, is my fastball good or not? Like, well, it misses more bats or so when you throw it over here. That's super good information. It's nothing that advanced. And I think there's a big disconnect with a lot of players. Like, I only do what I do well. And if they just kind of had different conversations about like, I'm trying to help you out the most possible. Like here, this is what he's going to throw you. You're not good at this. Let's be honest. I want to help you, but you're not good at this. Let's try and be ready for that. That's the conversation that they should be having. Well, and some teams are really good at that. And I don't think the Yankees are good at that.
Well, I'm him going to the GM meetings, the winter meetings, and taking shots at Giancarlo Stanton, taking shots at every single one of the players.
Wait, that's stupid.
I have no idea what he was thinking. That tells me that he believes something is going on with the organization, and maybe they're swaying towards another way. And here's the thing. Here's my question for you. Ing became available, and there were quite a few teams that wanted to interview her for their GM job, but she would not even talk to anybody. And now all of a sudden, I believe in I've called this, and I'm going to call it. If Brian Cashman steps down or the Yankees decide to part ways with Brian Cashman, if it happens, are you not to believe that Ing is not going to get that job? 100%. She's a Yankee person. She's been with the organization for years. She's been under Brian Cashman. She's successful as a GM over there with the Marlins. I think she's the next Yankee GM. I really do.
Honestly, nothing would make me prouder, honestly, as a Yankee fan, to having as the GM. I mean, I think it's such an important thing to have someone fantastic when she became the first female GM, but to do it for the Yankees would be such a fantastic thing. And just kind of, promote that. I just honestly don't think that Cashman is going to step down. I don't see why. The second that Cashman is removed, if you're saying it's inevitability, every single other organization is picking up the phone.
100%. I believe.
He is just this good at it. And I do think there are some things that have happened over the years that have been flaws and or blind spots. One in particular is kind of grasping, for example, there's a thing called WRC plus, right? And all that just tries to do is just kind of put it's a general saying like, look, generally you're just good offensively as a player, right? But the thing is, you can't just do that. You have to ensure that you don't have consistent weaknesses in a lineup. So, for example, watching Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Gary Sanchez all swing and miss at sliders down and away consistently drove me insane. And because on paper, they all have amazing skill sets that are better than the average player, but you have to ensure that you don't have the same weakness over and over again. And I think Cashman is fixing that. And I think he is making different decisions because of it, which is good. But yeah, I mean, look, we're so angry. I get it, but man, it's not Cashman's fault. It's not Boone's fault. Boone, the number one thing of a manager, the best thing to be as a manager, it's not to be a guru with analytics. It's not to be the greatest in-game manager. You just got to be like above a certain bar to not screw up like Tony La Russa with a fan shouting, hey, you should probably have a pinch runner at first base on the third pitch and that bat. All you need to do is win over the players, inspire the players to be the best that they can be. Seriously, it's the number one thing that a coach needs to do in the major leagues is inspire that team and have them come to every game focused and giving as much energy as possible. That's what you see in the playoffs a lot. You see a lot of teams that did not perform at this level throughout the entire year. And then all of a sudden, when it matters, they can come together and actually have that energy. And you need a coach that can get that 162 games of the year. Boone is doing that. Savage is in the box. He does that stuff for his players. I think he's great.
Nick, you're not selling me, okay? I've stuck up for Aaron Boone for years. Everybody, we've had people on our network telling me he stinks, he's terrible. Meanwhile, I say this to Yankee fans: how many managers in a 5-year span has been more successful than Aaron Boone? I want to know. I'm talking.
Well, hold on a second.
Wins to losses.
Yeah, that's all you mean. All that matters is wins to losses. So are you upset at Boone or are you upset at Cashman?
I'm not upset at any of them, but I think the Yankee fans are going to make Hal Steinbrenner make a decision. And I think that if Brian Cashman's out, so will be Aaron. And I like Mark. I've been saying this. Mark DeRosa is a guy that I love. I would love him. I've been speaking so highly of him for the last 2 years. I would love the Yankees. He interviewed for the Yankee job before they gave it to Aaron Boone. I think he's going to be a good manager in the league. I can't believe that nobody else has really looked at him and decided to take him in as a manager. I think he's sensational. I really do.
So you're looking at Hal to make a decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the decision should be? Someone else should own this team.
Well, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, Mark Cuban, who would have thought that Mark Cuban was going to sell his stakes of the Mavericks? I did not.
Maybe James Dolan could go buy the Yankees.
3.5.
Don't do that. Don't you dare bring that on. Look, Errol, how nice would it have been growing up in a city having a team named the New York Errols?
Oh,
okay.
I would love it.
I know. This is how I feel about the Knicks, and it's just I can't believe Dolan is doing this to me. How could he? I just want the Knicks are champions. Like, how do I need to hear that in my ear.
Listen, and I'll tell you this, Nick. I'm a huge sports fan for years, and everybody asked me if you were to pick one of your teams to win a championship right now, what team would it be? And
Yankees.
it's always been since I was a kid. Nope, it's the New York Knicks. It's been.
Yeah,
the New York
I'm a
Knicks.
baseball guy through and through. It has to be the
I'm
Yankees.
a baseball guy, but the Yankees win, man. I mean,
they haven't for 14 years.
Listen, man. How old are you, Nick?
How old do you think I am?
I'm going to say you're 32.
I'll guess 30.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. 35.
All right. So you're 35. All right. What are you looking at?
You can't talk about the Knicks when the Celtics run everything.
Oh, stop. Stop. They haven't won anything.
Stop.
They
At least
haven't
you
won
guys aren't
anything.
talking about football, okay? I don't
haven't
do
won
football
anything.
whatsoever.
Nick, they haven't won anything. He keeps talking about the Celtics. Let's see them win this year with the talent that they have.
Talk about the Knicks.
Well, let me tell you something. They're not beating Denver. I'm telling you that right now. The Celtics will not beat Denver, even if they come out of the East. I can't wait until, and if the Celtics might come out of the East, I would predict that
I think they will too.
Yeah, but they're not beating.
If they stay healthy, they will.
They're not beating Denver. They're not.
Sure.
No way. No way. There you go, Nick. We're back and forth. This guy, by the way, this guy was my partner for years. We started this network in 2012. And we were one of the first digital profile sports networks in the country, and we'll never get credit for it. By the way, and I was speaking to one of the high regional directors of ESPN this past week, and I said, "Listen, we're not going to get credit for it, but I'm going to tell you this right now: when it comes to digital profile radio, we're the best in the business. I don't care what anybody says. Sound, professionalism, everything. We're crazy. We're nuts. We entertain. And listen." We do not, I repeat, we do not now and forever stick Oreos in anybody's asses anymore. All right? Only this guy, not me.
He misses the legend.
I do not miss the legend, but it is a legend, Nick. It is a legend. I'm going to tell you, this guy has an ability of doing some crazy, creepy things, man.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any of it, honestly.
I don't either.
I don't even know the brand of pitcher list at all, but they call me G-rated Nick Pollack, okay? All right? I'm all about no vulgarity, not being the Barstool mentality whatsoever.
I got you.
We are in place of positivity, inclusiveness without vulgarity. So I'm good. I'm good, guys.
I love you, man. And by the way, we got to follow each other. I'll have Speedy send you my
That's
Twitter.
so cute.
I'll follow you. No, I'm serious because I would love for you to come into the studio, and I'd love to do a live show with you. I think it'd be great.
All right, so my son's listening, so we got to turn it down to PG again.
All right,
we got to do PG Punk again.
PG.
I mean, as long as you're not calling me your son, that's good then.
No, you're not. Listen, I'm only 6 years older than you, buddy. Okay.
How old is he?
He's 35.
Yeah,
35.
everyone that's younger than him is considered a baby.
You are a baby.
There it is. Good.
Baby.
Let's keep it that way forever. That
Listen,
sounds great.
It's good. It's fine, man. I mean, it's life.
You could be my son from another mother. No.
Oh God,
man.
Where you officially went there?
What are we doing?
I mean, with him, there's a lot of questions with that. So, I mean, this guy, when you talk about he's got hoes in different area codes, he does. So,
Okay, so quick question for you guys. Bring us back here. Luis Severino, how are we feeling about this to the Mets over there?
So just so you know, about a year and a half ago, I said that the Yankees are not re-signing him and he will sign with the Mets. Speedy will tell you I said it. And I'm going to say this. Luis Severino will win between 13 and 15 games this year. His ERA will be closer to 3.20, somewhere around there. I think he has over 175 to 200 strikeouts. I think he has a good season.
I don't. I like
no.
him like velocity wise. I don't really like his secondary pitches. 1 year, I'm okay with it. I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not gonna. I'm hoping the Mets do a lot more than just Severino.
Petey, have you gone on my website before?
I have not.
To pitch us the player pages. This is what happened.
Okay.
I love pitching. All I do is I look at actual arsenal and I break down individual pitch types and everything like that. It's the best way to understand a player, not just to say he has a strikeout rate. Like, no, it's because the slider is just so good. That's how he gets the strikeouts or something. Then I see the slider go bad. Then it's like, oh yeah, right. No more strikeouts. Okay. Check out Luis Severino and you'll see that his slider and changeup were just an atrocity this past season. I mean, absolutely just what is going on with these pitches. And I'll be honest with you guys, when it comes to organizations that I would love for have Luis Severino to gone to, it's not the Mets, where I don't trust them to say, hey, Severino, this is what was wrong with your slider. We're going to figure this out. If the Yankees couldn't do it, I don't think that the Mets are going to be able to.
No, the Mets didn't do it with any of their young pitchers. No.
Right. And I also say that Severino has a long history of health problems. To suggest that he's going to get that many strikeouts and that many wins is not even about the quality. It's just about the longevity. Now, 1 year at 13 million, sure, what the heck? That's about one WAR or so, which is generally fine. Like, that's if you pitch enough games, 25 games, you're going to be better than 13 million Luis Severino. Yeah, I was a little disappointed just because I wanted to see him go and like prosper. I don't think it's gonna happen on the other side of the city. So
Nick, I'm sorry, man.
I wish. Trust me. I've been the biggest supporter of Luis Severino for a while.
And I still think he has something left. And
I do
hope-
too, but I don't think it's the Mets who are going to unlock it. I wanted him to go to LA, the Dodgers.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what I wanted.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because, like you said, I was disappointed with a lot of his off-speed pitches and some of his other stuff too. And I feel like he's turning into a one-pitch pitcher, which happened with Syndergaard too. Syndergaard only threw his fastball and he's ruined his career.
Now, I remember talking to I'm not going to name drop, but someone that I was saying that he slows down his mechanics a little bit when he throws the secondaries, and he's had that issue in the past. So so essentially there might be something there about like why those secondaries were worse is because he just telegraphed it a lot more than he used to. There might be something like that the Mets like, hey, cool, change that. Doubtful. I want him to do well. You know, I have a phrase, I want every pitcher to be dope. Save for the ones that are just trash humans. So it's an asterisk under the bottom, just gotta say it really fast.
Are you trying to attack Max Scherzer?
No, he's fantastic. He's awesome. I love him. He's not a trash. Oh, him, yes. Not Scherzer.
You get nasty, man.
No. He's not a trash human. He's actually a wonderful human.
No, Max Scherzer just
are
likes
you
to
friendly with
cheat.
him? Are you friendly with him?
I haven't had a chance really to interact with him much, so I would be friendly with him. I imagine he'll be friendly with me.
Max
too.
Scherzer just likes to cheat and put sticky stuff. in his
Well, you're a
hands.
pitching guy. That's why he'll be friendly with you. I mean,
What do you have against Scherzer? What's he done to you, Errol?
I'm not going to say anything. But Max Scherzer, to me, is not one of my favorite players. That's all I'm going to say. But
Sure. I mean, the thing is, when I say like a trash human, that kind of thing, I don't say that lightly. I mean to those that have DV charges, those who are clearly just been bad examples for everybody, those that are not inclusive inside of our community, all that kind of stuff. Those are the ones I'm like, absolutely get out of here. I don't want to talk about that person again. Max Scherzer is not one of those.
So you're not a very close friend of Domingo Germán?
Absolutely not. No.
There you go. Well,
Absolutely
thank
not.
you. How about Aroldis Chapman?
Nope. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go through all the ones that I don't want to talk to, which you already know, we can. But
I'm just throwing you curveballs, man. Hopefully you catch him. Okay. Well,
He'll have the metric on his own curveball.
he has a better chance of catching it actually. Than
I
that.
had the best curveball in high school. I'm telling you right now, it's what's got me to college. So
12-6 or 6-12.
I actually had a lower arm angle, so I had more of that what they call a slurve now, which I still think is not a slurve. It's just a curveball at a different angle.
So hard to hit, man. I've never seen a slurve ball. I was playing in a men's league in Nassau County, and this was years and years ago. And this guy was a semi-pro baseball player, and this guy was on the mound.
Sure.
And everybody keeps telling me, "Watch out for the slurve." I was like, "I've never seen a slurve in my."
So they come out your shoulder and came back over the plate.
Dude, it was. It looked like, I don't know. It looked like a curveball, and then all of a sudden it just like dipped. I've never seen anything like it. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, I would throw them at the front shoulders of a lot of high school kids, and they would just always turn back, and it would just come back over. But I did like Zito. I did it with my index finger. A lot of guys do the pop the gun like that.
Mhm.
No, I had the Zito one with the index finger. I was always about index finger with it. And you just chop. All you gotta do is just think of fastball and just chop to your ankles. Easy. You can do it.
Well, I mean, if anybody could do it, everybody would. So, anyways,
They need all the metrics on your website. Maybe they go.
Yeah, exactly. No, they need practice. You know, everything good is hard to do, right?
So what you need to do is, if time travel ever does exist, you could just have to go back in time with your website and track your own.
If only I had good mechanics back then, let me tell you. No.
if they actually had the analytics those years, I mean, pitchers.
Well, yeah, the stuff to actually track what that we do now. I mean, just even imagine, I didn't have a camera on my phone, right? And like now they have Ralph Soto stuff, which is just incredible frames per second. It can actually trace the entire spin rates and everything. It's incredible.
Could you?
I just saw a video out today. Trey Athletics working with Andre Palante of the Cardinals.
Yes,
it's amazing. It is my dream. I've done this with guys before, but like I've had to like wait a couple days until they tell me something back. Like in the moment, be like, cool. Instead, just move your hand like this. How does that look? What about this and that? This is, man, if I had that, I would still not make it, but still it would be closer. I'd be a little bit closer.
A little closer, tiny bit.
A little bit.
By the way, if they had the analytics that time, do you know how even better Greg Maddux would have been? I mean, it's crazy. Who would have thought that? I mean, I loved Greg Maddux. Oh man,
Greg Maddux. The thing about Maddux too is that he actually understands sequencing, which I think is kind of a lost thing. Still, we try to understand what sequencing is based on like hitter tendencies or like how they performed against a certain pitch before, and we avoid that. Like kind of think of like playing MLB The Show where you have the hot and cold zones, right? That's not how you're supposed to sequence, because that's like a small sample. You don't know. You're not going to see the same exact pitch. I don't throw the same curveball as this other guy. Why are you going to equate those two, right? But Maddox understood, oh no, there's body language. There are things that the batter tells you that they're looking for that, and oh man, could he completely wreck you with it.
Noah Syndergaard still doesn't know a sequence. He has 5 pitches and only throws his fastball.
I wonder if I had a sequence of beating somebody up. I mean, just looking at him and saying, okay, he's not expecting my right, I'm going to throw my left.
I'm a lucky guy, Errol. I've never been in a fist fight, and I never think I will.
Well, guess what?
We were supposed to have a fist fight of one of our previous co-hosts and our caller that never came to fruition.
That's not my world, thankfully.
Not mine either.
I've been in a lot of fights. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Listen, I was a kid that liked to throw my hands, and I boxed and I did mixed martial arts for many years. So I liked it. I like to compete. It's an art, man.
That's a different thing if you're fighting in an actual in regulated way. That's completely different than what I'm talking about.
Define regulated.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not going to bite you or something like that, but who knows?
I mean, that's happened in regulating fighting, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, especially with girls. Anyways, Nick, we love you, man. Speedy will send you mine, and we'll stay in touch.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, I had 30 minutes, man. I mean,
I'm messing around with you. I won't buy so quickly. That's what I'm saying.
It's great. I mean, that shows you that you're having fun, and we had a lot of fun with you, man. You're fantastic. Check out Nick. How do they find you on Twitter and social media?
Yeah, just at Pitcher List. No S, no the, just Pitcher List. Go to our website. We do a ton of baseball stuff. Check out our player pages. Honestly, we're the only one that has fully licensed StatCast data, so it's actually good stuff. It teaches you too. MLB averages and percentiles, so like this is a good stat or a bad stat. Tool tips for everything if you're confused. You can also see a GIF of every pitch that they throw. So you're like, what is this one? Is it a fastball or a slider? What does it look like? You actually see it inside of the page. So go check it out, pitcherlist.com.
That's really cool.
That is really cool. Well, we really appreciate your time as always. We'll be in touch, and keep up the good work, bud.
Yeah, great hanging out with you guys. Thanks so much for the invite.
Nick Pollack, man, fantastic. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Really, really. He knows his baseball. I can tell you that. And he's a Yankee fan. You can't, walk away from that, man. I mean, I know you're a Met fan. You're a Met fan. What are you, Tommy? Are you a Met fan? A Yankee fan. Okay, so we've got 2 Yankee fans and 2 Met fans. I mean, that's not saying much. Both teams are not teams that look like they're going to win the World Series anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe Brian Cashman throws a couple of dollars out this offseason. We'll see. Maybe Al Steinbrenner actually knows how to open up his pockets.
I was going to say that's more the main issue.
I mean, seriously, I'm starting to get sick and tired of watching Yankee baseball. And now, I mean, I watched 60 games out of 162 games this year. I've watched 60 games, full games. I mean, I'll tune it on. I'll put 3-4 innings. After I see the game just like getting out of hand, I'm like, I'm not watching this anymore. This is ridiculous. This isn't like the old Yankees of the 90s.
Well, yeah, a lot has changed under this regime.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Same thing with the Mets. I mean, right now it's a new ownership that has the ability to do a lot. Now it all depends on getting it done.
Sonny's calling my phone.
Why is he calling your phone?
I don't know.
Sonny, call the network phone, 631-672-3108.
I think you need, Mike, you need to text that to him. All right.
What is it?
631-672-3108.
That's what Sonny needs to do. But before we do that, Speedy,
3108?
3108.
3108.
Speedy, let's do our picks quickly. Let's just go through it, pick our winners, our losers. Where are we at right now?
So I actually gained 3 games on you, so I lead by 1 right now.
Okay.
So I had Dallas tonight.
I have Dallas too.
I had Dallas tonight. So we'll start with the 1:00 slate. We'll go to the LA Chargers and the New England Patriots. I think this is the Chargers in a blowout. Brandon Staley will try to keep his job and still lose it anyway.
All right, hold on one second. I'm trying to bring it up right now.
It looks like Sonny is calling now. Do you want to
tell him we're just going to do our picks quickly?
All right, Mike, text him that we're just going to put you on hold for about 5 minutes and just do our picks quickly.
We're going to do our picks quickly, and then we'll go from there. So where did you go first?
I went Chargers, Patriots, and I have Chargers blowout.
Yes, I have the Chargers too, on the money line.
All right, the Detroit Lions and the New England Patriots, or New Orleans Saints, sorry.
Yes.
45.5 the over-under. I think the Lions win this game, but I do think it is closer than people think. The Saints defense will play tough, but just Noah Olave hurts. I'm going to say Lions.
Detroit on the money line.
All right, Falcons and Jets. I know you picked the Falcons. For this one.
Falcons.
I have the Falcons as well. Steelers over the Cardinals, I would imagine.
Steelers.
Yep. Colts and Titans. I actually have Tennessee in this one. I think this will be an upset, close, low-scoring game.
I'm going to go with Tennessee.
All right. The Miami Dolphins and Washington. Miami might put a 50. I'm going to go with Dolphins.
I'm going Miami.
Texans hosting the Broncos at home. I'm going to take the Texans. Sorry, Wes. I'm going Houston.
I'm going the Broncos.
All right. Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got Tampa.
I got Tampa.
Browns at the Rams. I'm actually going to take the Browns on this one.
I've got the Browns.
All right. The 49ers and the Eagles. I agree with Derek. I am taking the 49ers. I wouldn't be surprised if by double digits.
It's not going to be by double digits. I have the 49ers on the money.
All right. Chiefs and Packers. I got the Chiefs.
I've got the Chiefs.
And the Bengals and Jags. I got the Jags.
I've got the Jags too.
All right. Now we got Sonny. What's going on, man?
Sonny, what's
How
up?
you guys doing? Long time no
Oh,
talk.
my
How you guys doing, boys?
Well, first of all, you definitely sound like a Canadian. That's for damn sure. And
he's one of my ISIS members that are hiding out.
Canada.
Yeah, my ISIS member in the north.
Yeah, like I hear you still have Oreo issues, Mikey.
I know, right? They keep harping on my Oreos.
Well, listen,
the legend, never dies.
You know,
I know, right?
You know what they call it? They call it a glove, like a glove. You know, that's him. You know.
How you guys been?
We're good, man. I'm happy to. First of all, I don't know if you've tuned in since Mikey obviously has not been panned with me, but listen. I'm happy that you're on. I haven't heard your voice in a very long time. I know you've been in contact with Mike. I don't know why you stay in contact with him and you don't stay in contact with me.
Because the legend never dies.
Legend.
Get it through your head.
Mike's always reaching out, boys. Mike's always reaching out.
Hey, listen, I don't have.
No, honestly, we talk a lot of hockey because
got
of
it.
I sit there and go, how's Bavilier doing? And I'm so glad he got traded.
Got traded to Chicago.
Yeah, because he's been sucking forever. You know, how Altuve is doing.
He's actually having a good season.
And the Canucks just made a trade today for Zadorov. So that was
okay.
a good
That was a good.
And that deal was not possible if we didn't get rid of Bavilier, you know?
Right, for the pick. Right, exactly.
For the pick. So yeah, I mean, lots of highs, lots of lows. I mean, we're gonna sign Shohei. The Blue Jays are gonna sign Shohei.
I don't know about that one. I mean, I know there's a lot of Asians in Toronto, but I just don't think he's going there for that reason.
I don't know. I think I read somewhere that they offered him like $500 million.
Yeah, they could offer him whatchamacallit all year round. What's that stupid thing up there? That
Oreo?
No. That that it's almost like a Wow Wow over here. What the hell?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. Yeah, they could offer him Tim Hortons.
I like Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Isn't
place
isn't like Kikuchi his childhood hero or something?
I don't know. They should shoot.
Yeah, I would imagine it has to be one of them because it's I think he's 4 years older, but I don't know how much childhood. Maybe just
from
current.
They should shoot each other with a BB gun
or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Kikuchi's going to go to the bullpen anyway, so yeah, he might as well.
Maybe they'll go to the Great Lakes and go fishing.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? I mean, it's
ice
beautiful
fishing.
It's beautiful out here. You guys got to make your way out.
Well, you're in Vancouver, so you're actually in the nice area.
First of all, man, I was in Vancouver. I was in Vancouver about 3 years ago. I was at the draft, and I got a chance to check out Vancouver. It is a beautiful city. I've never really been there. All the years that I played hockey, I never been to Vancouver, and I was there. The water over there is beautiful. The seafood there is great. It is. It's expensive, man. Very expensive.
Got mountains. You can see mountains everywhere.
Well, if I stood on a mountain, do you think I could see you?
Probably.
Really? How big are you now? I know you were telling me the last time you've been on the show you had a little bit of a weight problem.
Did you get married yet?
No, I'm living the good life, Mikey.
You're supposed to name your first kid after me.
Oh God, please.
I have the same luck with women as you do.
Well, I'll tell you.
I don't know about that because if you're still doing nothing and I'm doing a lot more, there's a reason why I look good for my age.
Let's just say I'm still having fun.
Oh,
well, that's what you call it, I guess. I didn't know sitting home in the couch is having fun. That's all good, bro. I still love you for it.
Listen, Sonny, since they created dating apps, Mikey's been the conquering hero.
gotta get some expertise on dating apps. For Mikey.
You'd actually get a lot from
See how
him.
he does it. see how he does it.
He's got one every single week.
Mikey, really? Eh? Nice, Mikey.
Yeah, he's
good to hear.
He's an interesting fellow.
You know, my son's
How are you doing, Errol?
I'm good,
that
man.
category?
I'm good. Yeah, you know what it is, man. Everything that I've done over the years, I miss Mike, and Mike told me he was going to make a surprise. He called me a couple times today, one time today, and I was so busy today, I never had a chance to call him back. So when he showed up, I was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" He says, "Oh, it was supposed to be a surprise." So I knew when he walked through the door that we were going to go at it. Listen, I miss him. I tell him all the time he can come on whenever he wants. It to me, it's a breath of fresh air to have him on the show, because when you grow together for 3 years and you put all that time and energy into going back and forth. We did it 4 hours, 4 days a week. People don't understand what we did and the way we did it.
You guys grinded.
Yeah, we did. We ever. I mean, it's definitely different. It's definitely
electric.
Yeah, it was electric. It's still electric. I mean, if you listen to me and Speedy Petey, we get a lot of great guests. And by the way, I interviewed Neil Smith about a couple weeks ago, and we're going to get him on the show as well.
You guys made it. All that hard work paid off.
Well, not yet. It's very soon, but we're going to make it
getting there.
nationally. Yeah, it's getting there. And
Getting
listen,
there.
I wasn't pushing it for 2 years, and Mike was right. And I'm not going to lie this, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. If we kept it,
the way it started,
it
would have been a different scenario.
I think we would be in one of the bigger spots throughout nationally. We'd be one of the biggest shows nationally. There's no doubt in my mind.
There's always going to be speed bumps, right? You guys are going to hit those speed bumps,
Listen,
but eventually you guys go up there.
Listen, Mike hits speed bumps every single night, man. He's not going to lie to you. So,
Mike's a good time, I think. Mike's a good time.
I'm not saying that he's not.
I got to get out there.
I'm not going to say he's not. I mean, but I mean, define good time.
I don't know.
Well, I'd take it.
He's like a good guy to hang out with.
It's 100%.
I mean,
you just don't know what you're going to get.
Lose yet or what?
Islanders, listen, don't bring up the Islanders, please. There's nothing.
No, they tied it up at 4. They should lose.
Honestly, I mean,
just wait till it goes to overtime or a shootout. Then no.
Isn't Lou Lamoriello Canadian? Can't you come here because since you're ISIS and kidnap his ass?
Listen, I met Lou at an event over the summer, and I walked up to him. Nobody knew it was Lou Lamoriello. Nobody knew. Everybody was.
How could you not spot that old fart?
Because he's so small.
Did Lou Lamoriello know it was Lou Lamoriello?
I can't.
Was he awake?
That Lou Lamoriello. He wouldn't let me keep my beard.
Well, I will say this.
He makes me shave my beard off.
He'd make you do other things.
Oh, so Lou Lamoriello should go work for the Yankees.
He might make you shave your ass. But I mean,
I think he got that idea from the Yankees, from George Steinbrenner.
100%.
Right. That's where it all
100%.
started.
You gotta, hey Mikey, you gotta lay off the Islanders a little bit. They're a winger away from being a good team.
Stop.
They
Dude,
have a top.
You're gonna lose
they
all
have a great
credibility in
goaltender.
hockey, and you're Canadian.
Let me
They
tell you.
have a top 5 goaltender.
That's the only thing.
Top 3. I think I honestly think he's the best.
They have the one. They do, and I'm not. You know me. I don't play the bias role or whatever. He's one of the best goalies in the league. Period.
He's one of the best goalies.
The problem is the overall roster. No, he's
Barzell's
not
still
even
elite.
close. No, stop.
You don't think Barzell?
No.
I think he's elite if they put the right guys around him. They've not put the right people around him. Bo Horvat is not enough. They had a chance to get Alex DeBrincat. They screwed up. They failed. And I'm sorry, that was a failure. And I want to say something. I want you to know. I want to give you a statistic that you probably don't know. Do you know that the Islanders have given up more goals in the third period in overtime than any 2 teams in hockey together? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well,
That's a
now
crazy
you can
stat.
take that. Now you can take that stat and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, but they're still in the mix, right? And you make the playoffs, anything can happen. Like I don't care about the.
Oh, they're built for
I'm
the
just telling
playoffs. They're built for the playoffs. They're not making it. They're built for it.
They're
Sonny, in
They're
all
not gonna make it?
honesty, in all honesty, they only have 3 top 6 forwards, and they're at best second line players.
Yeah.
The rest of the roster are bottom 6 forwards. That's
See,
big.
the problem is I think you guys get rid of Lou, bring in another GM.
You need a coach,
and players are going to start coming in there.
Oh,
I think it's
well, players will come. I mean,
we've had so many hockey guys. I've interviewed Neil Smith a couple weeks ago. He told me that the UBS arena is the nicest arena in the NHL. He said it. He said it.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I know it's nice because I go a lot, but I didn't know.
he said it's the nicest arena in the NHL by far. By none. It's one
of the rinks that I want to check out.
It is beautiful. It really is. And he says the food there is great. He says
parking sucks.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that the Islanders. That's the only thing they need to figure that out. But if they can figure that out.
I have a question. I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Do you guys consider, or the Islanders consider, trading Sorokin to kind of fill up that cupboard a little bit?
They would never.
Well, I'll say this. I think it would only depend. Like, Twitter has fun with certain things, but like Twitter said, I'll trade you Sorokin and Brock Nelson for McDavid. Yeah, I'm doing that in a nanosecond. You know what I'm saying?
Do you actually think Sorokin and Nelson are worth McDavid?
100%. Sorokin?
Are you kidding me?
He's the best goalie in the
You're
league.
gonna need a lot more for McDavid.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying
more.
But I'm just saying, I mean, maybe a pick or two. But the bottom line is Draisaitl could just score just as many points as McDavid, and now you got a goaltender that'll shut the game down. That changes the dynamics. Everybody wants to make McJesus.
More pieces than that. You're trading your entire minor league.
No, you're not.
And it's
No, you're
not
not.
just. It's not just.
Hold on. If you remember the Kings, okay, what did they trade for Gretzky? Hold on. What did they trade for Gretzky? No, it's not. Times are actually better now because, and you look at it, when you look at the players that were traded for Wayne Gretzky and the prospects are, if Connor McDavid wants out of there, yes, there'll be teams lining up for him. But if he picks a certain organization or a certain three organization he wants to play for, you're not going to have to give up as much as you think.
It all depends on what they're giving.
Yeah, if you get Sorokin and you get Brock Nelson and maybe a pick, that is, I guarantee you that's a lot. I mean, you're getting the best goalie in the world. Goalies win Stanley Cups, not goal scorers.
I mean, if anything, Sonny, maybe you might get two minor league prospects that in our mind are not really, like whoop-de-doo. Like, I mean, so if you want to throw in stuff like that, that could happen.
They're not going to do that.
They're not going to be major. Like, if the Islanders want to throw in the 4 and whatever, but that's not major throw-in, so it doesn't really matter.
I really like that kid.
I mean, you got to sell McDavid hard on that, though.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you.
I'll sell it.
Twitter fun.
We'll get rid of Lou, and you could be the GM too.
I'm in.
Listen,
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about McDavid. I'd say
Islander fans are really not that bright because I've been saying for 5 years Barzal's not a center, and I've been arguing with the dumb fan base for years. Who ends up being right? The legend.
Oh, the legend. No, it's not the legend. Right. The myth. Like, that's what it is.
The man, the myth, the legend.
No, I didn't say the myth. No, first of all, I'm the man, the myth, the legend. You forget.
No, you're the greatest.
Oh, no, I'm not the greatest. I just say that.
The Islanders just won on your shitty guy.
So the
$9 million bust. I have a question for you.
He's not a bust.
Wait, he's such a bust. For $9 million, he's a bust.
He's got like 19 points already this year. He's not a bust.
If he doesn't break the 75-point mark,
he definitely will this year. I think he will. I think he will this year.
Sonny, I have a question. What is going on with Pedersen right now in Vancouver? Because I'm targeting his ass if he hits free agency.
I think he'll come back.
Do you have the cap?
There's a big piece in Tyler Myers, who's off the books at the end of this year.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
His 6. He'll sign. They'll figure out a way to sign him.
Because he's going to get 13 to 15 million per. He's going to be in that next bracket.
11, 12 million, I think.
You think so?
I think so. But remember, he's still property of the Canucks.
No, I know that.
Yeah, so they can maybe work out a 1 or 2 year deal. I think the cap's supposed to go up a lot.
Wait. No, he isn't. Wait, he's going to be a restricted free agent or unrestricted? I thought he's going to be unrestricted.
No. Canucks still have him. He's still Canucks property.
Because I thought this is a second term of a bridge deal that he's going to be ending.
Yeah.
Right. So usually you only have 2 terms of being property.
That's right.
So he's going to be a free agent.
Well, he. By the way,
No. Okay.
You see, he's still good. Like, he's a free agent, but he's still got that.
How old is he going to be?
Like,
I was at that draft, by the way, when he was
I
drafted.
think he's 26. He'll turn
Okay,
25 or
so
26.
maybe he has that 1 year. I don't know because I thought
He's
he was gonna be a free
25.
agent.
He's 25 years
All right,
old.
so then he's got 1 more year.
Yeah, so the next contract he signs, and then once he's a free agent after the next contract, he's free to go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
how's Demko doing? Because he's the key. Because he's so up and down. If he stays healthy and stays on cue, you guys are going far. If not, you're not going anywhere.
This year he's a top 5 goaltender.
Top
remember,
5?
you guys look at the standings. We have he's a top 5 goaltender.
That's
We have
pushing it.
we have 3 guys that are top 5 in the scoring this year.
Well, yeah, your
We're an
scoring is
absolute
unreal.
wagon.
Right.
We're an absolute wagon. We just added Zadorov.
listen
today.
to you. We're an
Which
absolute
kind of-
wagon.
We are a wagon.
I like Vancouver
This
this
is
year.
exciting times.
And by the
You
way,
need to stay healthy.
that kid Quinn.
That's the problem.
Oh, man,
They don't
he's
stay
so-
healthy.
He's so sensational. He's such a
That's the biggest
when
thing.
I met Quinn, when he was drafted, I'll never forget. I was interviewing Van Beesbrook, and he just got drafted by Vancouver, and I'm like, that guy is small. I mean, he's not tall. He's big. He's really small. And I'm like, how is that guy? And I'm telling you right now, I don't know if anybody's watched this kid play. He's sensational. He's better than his brother. I'm going to say that he's better than his brother, and that's crazy to say. Jack Hughes. I mean, Quinn Hughes is fantastic. He's a fantastic player. He really is.
And that's nice. And that's nice to hear from you guys, since you guys are all the way out in Long Island.
Well, I respect Jack Hughes.
No, we all respect players.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack Hughes is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes is phenomenal.
He's
Like,
phenomenal. He's
players
phenomenal.
are players. We're not gonna deny that. I mean, anybody
I think
who
bringing in Adam Foote as their assistant coach
God.
helped them out a lot this year too. You got
Adam
Gonchar
Foote.
and you got Adam Foote. You got Adam Foote and Sergei Gonchar as the assistant coach.
Listen, Adam Foote should have never played hockey. The guy was a mean player. He was a rough player. That's what Adam Foote was.
He's got cups. Harold, he's got
I
cups.
understand he's got cups. Look at the teams he played for. Claude Lemieux, Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic. Are you kidding me? That team was ridiculous. Huey Krupp. I could go on and on and on and on and on.
Whatever he's
Patrick
doing,
Waugh.
whatever he's doing with the Canucks right now is working. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Right now, we're winning hockey games. We couldn't say that last 4 or 5 years. We've been bottom dweller teams.
You're not going to be a bottom dwelling team for a very. You're going to be good for many, many years. We
got Demko for another 3 years.
But you're going
Hughes for another 3 years.
You're going to lose him. He's going to go to New Jersey because both his brothers are over there. That's where he's going. There's no question. That's where he's going. 100%.
I don't think you.
100%.
Captain of the Vancouver. Captain of the Canadian market.
Do you know that his parents?
Didn't he sign a long-term deal?
No, he has 3 years left on his contract.
I thought he signed 7 years.
No, he has 3 years left on his contract, and his family
He did.
just.
He did. That contract's almost like he's already in his 4th year on that contract.
Yeah, he's got 3 years left, and I just so you know, his family just bought a house. The whole family, his mother, his father, just moved to New Jersey. I'm telling you right now, he is going to the Devils. I'll book it. Remember, I said that he is going to.
Well,
the Devils.
here's a bigger question: would the Devils have cap space by then?
I think they will. Absolutely, Hamilton will be gone.
Let's make a bet.
Hamilton will be gone.
If he stays in Vancouver,
Okay.
No, you can't make a bet without.
I've made bets. What are you talking about?
If he stays in Vancouver, you fly me out to New York.
All right. What? And if I what I have to
And
do
if
after
he
that?
signs in Jersey, then you got to say something to him. Have him fly you back out to Vancouver.
I would fly.
And you can
I
go
would
play.
fly
In the
out.
woods.
7-Eleven.
You can go play in the woods.
I don't know about playing in the woods.
Just go to a 7-Eleven. You'll be fine.
Well, I'm not
fly you out
playing.
to Vancouver,
I
you
am
can
not
share
playing. I am not playing Dip the Oreo with you, my friends. Sorry, I'm not doing it.
See, this is why you're no fun, Errol. This is why I want to hang out with Mike.
First of all, I am as fun as anybody when it comes to going out. So
Errol says he wants to go to Vancouver and play Cabin Fever.
There's a lot to do out here.
Well,
There's a lot to do
at
out
least
here.
as long as there's no Beaver Dam.
Well, then you're taking Mike with you.
There's a ton of them.
Then you take Mike with you. Listen, you bring up This is what you do. You take a little chartered plane. You bring Errol, Speedy, and this kid called Mike the Beef.
Oh, please.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you right now, you better shut your door and don't even answer it.
I don't know if I want to go to Vancouver with the beef.
First of all, I am the craziest person. You will have a ton of fun with me. I don't know about the Beef and Speedy. Speedy will
I don't know if I
hide,
can survive Vancouver with the beef.
but anyways, we appreciate you calling.
We got to get Kenny on the phone. Where is he?
Oh, yeah.
No, we
Call
gotta
that
go.
Tardo.
We gotta
Kenny
go.
is Kenny in
I'm
Vancouver.
hungry.
All right.
I'm hungry. I'm done.
I decided to sit DK Metcalf today, and the guy's got 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I got him.
For over 100 yards.
That's right, baby.
Why would you have sat him if he was healthy?
He hasn't done anything
I sat him
all
because
season
I
long.
was thinking about Bland from
He's
Dallas.
one
The
player.
guy's got like 6 pick sixes.
He's one player.
So I
But
thought
do
he was
you realize he's got 6 pick sixes against lousy QBs?
And do you realize he's one player and not going to be guarding him the whole time because he's a hybrid player?
If you look
But I think-
statistically,
I think Geno Smith is a horrible quarterback, and him playing against Dallas Cowboys, I was not expecting him to do that.
That doesn't mean you should have benched DK Metcalf.
I sat him for Tank Dell.
I would have been worried about Najigba or Lockett, but if Metcalf
no,
was healthy,
you never sit Lockett unless he's really going.
Lockett is a weird one because he's like 2 points and 30, and then
He'll be gone next year. He'll be a Giant next year. You watch.
Think so?
No, 100%.
I made the mistake.
One of those guys are going to be there.
Metcalf, and I'm going to regret it. So
I've heard Higgins is
sat him for Tank Dell.
I've heard Higgins is re-signing with the Bengals.
I think so too
I
because the
heard it.
Bengals have the money. They have
Yeah,
70 million.
Yeah, I've heard.
At first, I didn't know they had the money. I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, they're loaded. They don't need to. Get
There's a couple of good wide receivers that are going to be available.
Yeah.
But yes, I think Tyler Lockett will be a Giant next year. He has
Yeah.
he has a very good connection with Dable. So
I'm hearing a lot more traction on Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is another one that I love. I think they're going to re-sign Gabe Davis.
Bills? You think
Yeah,
so?
because Stephen Diggs, they're going to trade in the offseason. They're not bringing him back. He's had him and his brother have been causing too much problems for Josh Allen off the field. I mean, both these guys are complete idiots. I think he'll go to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will find a way to get Stephen Diggs or something like that. He will be traded in the offseason. So.
Do you guys stick with DeVito or do you go with Jones when he's healthy?
Jones, of course.
Are you kidding me?
I think
Of
Jones.
course.
You're kidding
Jones
me,
is
right?
horrible.
DJ Jones.
DeVito?
Danny Dimes blows, and DeVito is just. I have no idea what he is. To be honest. He's just getting lucky right now.
He's Ralph Macchio from the Karate Kid.
It's like these Giant fans think that's another fact that these Giant fans think they got the second coming of something. Like, really? Come on, just stop.
Do you
It's
guys
just
see that the
working.
Browns are starting Flacco?
Yep.
Good.
I can't wait for the Browns
They have a
Ravens
better chance.
playoff game.
They have a better chance than Robinson. I mean, that guy stinks. I don't know why anybody thought that Robinson. First of all, why did they take Walker out? He actually looked like pretty decent. They take him out. They put Robinson in. That guy stinks. I mean, horrible. And honestly, the Browns should have won the last 2 weeks. They really should have. I mean, it's embarrassing to lose against the Broncos the way they did. I mean, this is the best defense in the league, and they put up a 29 spot against them.
Thank you, Carl. We know the Giants and Jets are garbage.
I know. I've
Russ
said
is
it.
starting.
That's not Call from Jersey, is it?
No.
Russ, yes.
Russ is starting to cook again.
Yeah, well, I'm going to cook. I'm actually want some food, so I want to cook. So, Sonny, we love
All
you.
right,
Sonny, listen, I really
go.
appreciate you calling. I want to thank you a lot. Always keep in touch.
He wants to
I
make
want to
love
give a
to
shout
you,
out to my son
guys.
who's listening,
Oh, yeah.
and I got to give another shout out to Cool Cat. That's
Oh,
also
your son's
listening.
I keep forgetting that. I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm trying to get him to call in, but he doesn't want to call in.
I'm sorry, buddy.
He's like, "What do I talk about?" I said, "Whatever you want."
I'm sorry,
All right,
buddy.
boys, they got a Canucks game to catch, so I'll catch you guys later.
Good luck, man.
All right.
It was nice catching up again.
Oreo out.
Be well, bro. Talk to you soon.
We love you, Sonny. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to your son. First of all, I just mess around with your father. Me and your father have known each other for a very long time. And if you knew the story how we met, you were a little itty bitty kid. I think when I met your father, you were, I think
he was 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Yeah, it's crazy. And I've watched you grow, and I know you probably haven't seen me in a very long time, but me and your
Since
father,
my niece's
yeah, me and your father have been friends for a very long time, and I love messing with him. He loves messing with me, but it's all love, baby. It's all love. But thank you to all the fans. By the way, thank you to our 2 special guests, Ralph Mancini, for joining us from the Summerville Journal Scene news editor. He's the editor now over there in North Carolina. and doing a great job. Thank you, Ralph. And our new guests and Nick Pollack he's fantastic, by the way. I've checked out some of his stuff. Guys, check out his website. Go check out everything that he does. He's fantastic. Really, really good, talented. Thank you to Sonny. Thank you to Jeff for pissing me off. Thank you to Snug for pissing me off. Thank you for the Beeve that just blows my mind and some of the things that you say. But thank you to all you guys for just supporting everything that we do here and keep listening. Thank you to all the 12,000 downloads that we've actually, what are we down up to now? 16, 17,000?
13 something.
13. No, it's 16. You're not looking. That's the problem. Yeah, I keep telling you to send me the numbers every single day so I know where the numbers are. Thank you to the 16.7 thousand people that have downloaded our show over the past month and a half. We really appreciate you guys and everybody on our stream, everybody that follows us on our social medias. We really appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work, and we'll be back on Wednesday. By the way, listen to the Weekend Crunch on Saturday. Are the Islanders playing?
Yep, next 4 weeks we got Islander games.
There we go. So listen to our pregame show with the Islanders. We're going to give you a Zoom of a show, that's for sure. Hopefully it's not going to be all bad, but it usually is. But listen to the Weekend Crunch at 10:30 p.m. on 103.9 FM. If you don't live here on Long Island, all you have to do is go to iHeartRadio, 103.9 LI News Radio. You can hear us at 10:30. Nothing else to say. Christmas is around the corner. Thank you, Mike, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No problem, guys. It was a pleasure. Once in a blue moon, havoc will reign again.
Well, I like havoc from Mobb Deep. That's about all the havoc I want to get. Anyways, thank you to all the fans, and we'll be back next week. Good night.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews.